Hi there, my name is Jeremiah. For as long as I can remember, I've had an almost morbid fascination with anything and everything paranormal, especially those things that venture into the darkest recesses of our primal fears and spark the thoughts that for most would be the stuff of nightmares. In 2007, this fascination, along with some unexplainable experiences, led me to start a paranormal research team known today as Everyday Legacy Paranormal. Then in 2011, a road trip led myself and a close friend into the darkest places we had ever been. That was the beginning of Road Trip Paranormal. Now, while still active with them, I no longer lead either of those teams, but the people that make them up are the best friends a guy like me could ask for. Myself, along with Jason, Leo, Roth, Max, and Michelle are reaching out to share our passions for everything odd, fringe, and paranormal with the world. We are Cryptic Heartland.
And we are back.
Where were we?
Well, you know. So how's everyone doing tonight?
Doing great.
Doing good. Beautiful Sunday.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
I'm shitty, so.
It's
I
a
just-
beautiful
always be
Sunday.
Yeah, it'd always be better.
Yeah.
but,
You win the
Well.
lottery or something.
Could win the lottery, you know.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Here we go. Who's gonna say it?
Welcome to the Cryptic
There
Heartland
we go.
podcast. Episode 54 tonight.
Woo!
Wow. So yeah, this is a place where you say it for a change. Someone else say it for a change.
I don't know it. So.
Really, guys? Really? Everything's nothing's off the table. Everything is fair game, and this is your cue, Jake.
Not afraid
We're not
to poke
afraid to
the
poke the bear.
You're gonna taste the rainbow, Jake.
I'm gonna add the brown skittle to that's what
Oh man! So what's everyone been up to this week?
Still trying to recover from Dodge and from Oberlin.
Yep. Yep.
Looking forward to some of the cases we've got coming up for September and October and stuff like that. So.
Very cool.
And November.
A lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah. So.
Lot
Still
of
busy.
good stuff.
We got what,
Yeah.
3 weeks and we're good, and then we got hopefully it's right off the bat in September we're going strong again. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Taking a little time off and
Yeah, only about 2-3 weeks, and then we're right back to. But no, and you were out in Leavenworth yesterday.
Yeah, I went to Leavenworth yesterday. Spent the afternoon and the evening down out there with our good friend Lena Townsend and her group. Stephanie and I went out. There was a speaking event. They call it Paranormal Passage. Something they do once a month. They get several different speakers from the paranormal world together, and just invite us to come out and talk to people and answer questions, tell stories, shoot the bull.
it'd be fun.
So, and then we did I'm not sure how much of the investigation I can talk about, but we did an investigation in actually 3 separate locations that was pretty cool. Had some cool stuff happening there. The thing I liked about that was that there were, where we were at with all of the activity that I know about, at least during the investigation, there were multiple sources that kind of collaborated the experiences that people had. Like someone would be using dowsing rods and get a response, and at the same time a cell sensor would beep, and at the same time a K2 would flash, and what was that responses on mail meters, and all this stuff would coincide at the same time. So that was always cool. That's always really cool to see. Okay, so does anyone else have the Facebook feed pulled up?
Yeah.
Or do we got live video? Okay,
Both.
so it's just not refreshing on my phone. So
Yeah, no, I got both feeds going.
okay, cool.
Yep, and everybody seems to be listening, so nobody's complaining about sound yet, so we're good.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Complaining,
That's
saying that they can't.
a common.
But another shout out to Lena.
Yes.
She does a wonderful job,
Yeah.
and just want her to know that we're backing her up no matter what. Shh. No, but yeah, we love you, Lena, and everything that you do for everybody. So
Yep.
Yeah. You do an awesome job.
Yep, we can't wait to see you at the next event. I think she's one of those. Can't remember her both, maybe.
yeah, hope,
So-
yeah.
Mhm.
I told her anytime.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Yeah.
Lena's welcome to any of our events. So
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be awesome to. Well, I'm not going to talk about that right now. That's business stuff we need to talk about sometime. But yeah, just give her a helping hand in getting her the
exposure.
exposure
Right,
that she needs and wants. So, yeah.
So what's new?
Alright, first and foremost, the whole spiel every week. Make sure you tell your friends, like and subscribe to our page, get notified every time we go live on this channel, or Everyday Legacy Paranormal or Road Trip, like all those pages, get notifications turned on. And we do a lot of, especially when we go out in public investigations, we do a lot of live broadcasting, live streaming at the time, so you're missing out on all the action, because we've had some last few weeks we had some great results, especially during public investigations. So I know a few of you are watching. I've seen you guys on there. So, but also too, if you want to take part of the show, call in. Phone number's at the very bottom: 316-200-9066. We'll take your on-air questions and we'll answer them for you as much as we can. If not, we'll make it up and never know the difference. So, but yeah. Now, as far as what's new, oh shoot, I don't even know. What about you guys? Anything jumps out at you this week, or?
Just want to remind everybody that we don't just do public events. That it's not just something that we do. We're not stuck in Dodge. That's not the only thing we do. And the fact that we do go across the state, we have several different locations, and we have private locations that we do, and we get called a lot. So, if you're having problems, you're having any troubles out there, feel free to call ELP.
Sorry. Road Trip.
But no, give us a call if you're having any problems, having any concerns. We don't charge for our private investigations. It's free of charge. We'll come out, we'll interview, we'll check out the place, we'll do a full investigation, however we
Document
need.
it,
Yeah.
and we'll get you the evidence revealed to you, of our findings, our assessment of everything, and that goes for homes, goes for businesses, goes for pretty much anything. So
Yeah. I've been running into some people who only think that we're only doing Dodge and that's it.
right.
So I just want we've been around for 12 years, 15 years, however much, and we've been doing a lot of things, and we're not just construed to just one spot.
Right.
We're all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people thought we skipped college and went right to the major leagues. Folks, we do have some college days ahead of us left. So.
Okay.
You can't take him anywhere.
No,
That's why we don't.
Nowhere.
It stays home.
Nowhere.
But yeah.
No, but
so,
you're right. There's a lot of. I think a lot of people do think we're just doing all these events, but what people don't see is how many private investigations that we do.
Right.
We're always getting people that are calling in, asking questions, and what we can do for them, and that's something that you guys don't get to be a part of. But
We don't.
if you have any issues, friends at work that are talking about stuff, get with them and let us see what we can do for you.
Yep.
Right. There's always behind the scenes stuff going on.
Yeah. I mean, just today we got two more private businesses that are wanting our help. Thank God it's local.
and you know, and what's funny about those two that we got, it was from people, you know, doing something completely different. They were going to some meetings, and all of a sudden they found out that they were having issues as well.
Yeah,
And he happened to know us, and next thing you know,
it's great. It's
Setting up
word of
some
mouth is like
investigations,
is
so, yeah.
amazing. So it's fantastic. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just been kind of bugging me last week or so. Just hearing that they only think that we only do certain things, and that's all we're tied down to. And it's not true. If you go back and actually look at our website, look at our Facebook, or anything, you see how far we're reaching out to other people.
and a lot of times you won't hear us talk about some of these private investigations for the simple fact that you know, when
private.
we go out and we do the
Right.
initial interview with them,
Yeah.
they don't want anybody knowing,
Yeah.
and so we can't, you know, really. Maybe we need to write a book
Yeah.
like Jason and Grant did about their. But yeah,
No, I think we
we could definitely do that.
we could come up with some good material for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, just to say, I mean, you guys did 7 investigations in 10 days,
Yeah, that was
Well,
crazy.
you know,
Yeah, it was
That
crazy.
was-
and you
I
know,
didn't think we could do it. And we
Push it
pulled it
up.
off. That was crazy. It was right before we met you guys. It was
Yeah,
it was nuts.
I mean,
and
that-
it just came out of nowhere.
Well, you got to think about the month of July alone. We did Oberlin, we did
yeah.
Topeka, and Dodge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh,
Yeah.
geez,
So
yeah. I forgot about Topeka. That was a
Yeah.
blast.
yeah, it
That was a
good
blast.
time.
Yeah, and also,
Kathy
you
always
know,
keeps us
we
busy.
have a lot of people that, a lot of people that we do guest speaking for,
Right.
that a lot of you guys don't know that we do.
Right.
Quite a bit, actually, where people will have us out to talk to other people, and, you know, we talk about, you know, the paranormal and help them answer questions that they might have. And that's something else you don't see us that we get to do as well.
Oh yeah.
And I love those. Those are fun. Those are fun. I love just
Yeah.
odd questions being thrown at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think now that you've had a week to ponder, how do you think the Dodge went?
It went great, man. I mean, actually, both of them went great, Oberlin and Dodge.
Yeah.
I mean, the guests that were there at both locations, we did 5 nights. Ready? I'm kidding. We did 5 nights. Plus, we did technically 6 investigations. We did one in the middle of the day
Yeah.
for a private business, and so we did 6 in 5 days. And
Wow.
Which we're gonna
intense.
go back to.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just kind of went to check it out, but
Yeah.
we ended up staying like
It was-
3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was interesting stuff going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it surprised me. I mean, so I'm still reviewing that audio and video
Right.
footage. Haven't got through all that because we still have everything else to go through. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought it went great. The guests had a great time. We Facebook Live the majority of the investigation, so a lot of people saw it, got to experience those that couldn't make it out there to either of the locations. They actually got to experience it live, and they were commenting nonstop, you know, and it was fun to interact with them because they're seeing stuff that we didn't even see, you know, with our,
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
the actual investigation. So, but so the people at home, thank you for tuning in those nights. I mean, it made made for some interesting interaction, especially during the investigation, and we took care of the guests also too, which was fun. And I think my favorite part was like me getting stuck out in the
Yeah, I
delivery,
love
whatever it's
that.
called, out in
Yeah.
Oberlin,
When it
and
was
That
raining?
was awesome.
yeah, and I'm like, shit, I'm out here by myself, and there's a door slamming, there's
Yeah.
shit moving around there. I'm like, that's my way out, guys. I'm
The
just like,
funny
going through the
thing
rain.
was, is like I was in there trying to like talk to the crowd because it was starting
Uh-huh.
to storm. So I was trying to come up with like what can we do. So I was wanting to play some EVPs for everybody and
Yeah.
everything, and I was needing him to like help me go through the stories and stuff like that. And I turned around to ask you a question, and
I'm
you're gone.
yeah.
And I'm like, where'd you go?
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there with the speaker, like.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
you know me,
damn it.
I'm always the ever investigator. Part
I
of me
know.
jumps out, so I'm like, I can't leave this. This shit's happening, you know, just to go,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you know
so-
the livery,
when we both saw the same shadow
Yeah.
in there, but you were out front on the sidewalk and I was out back smoking.
I didn't know he was behind me watching.
Yeah, I was
The
out
whole
back
time.
and he was out front on the sidewalk, and we both saw the same shadow move the same direction at the same time in there.
I even did a double
Because he
take.
come walking up beside it and was like, "Man, I just saw a shadow there." I'm like, "I was just standing here and I see the same thing." I was like, "It was right here and it went that way." Yeah.
The thing
Like,
was
man, we were
though,
in two different spots when we saw it.
when I actually went in there to investigate later on, it's the area of the mannequin. So
Mhm.
unless the mannequin in itself was moving, I don't know what the
No,
fuck we
it
saw.
moved, man.
Yeah, we
It
saw
moved.
something.
I was just standing there.
Yep. Which we had once again we had kind of a repeat performance down in Dodge on the stage when I thought Jason was up on stage and
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw this black shadow physically moving, walking with laser grid, and I'm like, oh cool. I'm like, and then I look down, Jason's coming walking down the aisle. I'm like, how'd you get here so fast? He's like, what are you talking about? I was never. I was like, weren't you just on stage? And the guests saw all this too, and this is in Dodge City,
There's always shadows on that stage.
and
They were
we could see it.
Were they?
We could see it with our own eyes, and it wasn't just me. It was about let's see, there's four at the table. There was two sitting behind me, so probably about 7 or 8 of us saw the same shadow,
Wow.
thinking it was Jason.
Wow.
And Jason's coming out of us all of a sudden out of nowhere. We're like, where'd you come from, dude? Weren't you on stage right now? He's like, no. And I forgot there's no stairs in the front of the stage. You have to go around the
Yeah.
back and then go up the
Yeah.
side to the stairs. And we thought he was up on stage already, walking towards
Oh, wow.
side to side, and it wasn't him at all. So because he physically can't do that. So.
What are you saying? I can't do
You can't. You can't. So, but no. So I mean, overall, the public investigations were fantastic. We met some great people along the way. Turned into some maybe possible other locations along as a result, and it always does.
Something I noticed too, I wasn't able to go, but I tried to jump in a few times throughout the night.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought was really cool is that when I jumped on, I started, other people were jumping on, and I actually saw 2 people that I'm friends with on Facebook. I won't say the names
What's the
right
names?
now. But it was kind of
He
neat
slips up.
because when people were jumping on, I went, I think I know that bro.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh my God, those
Yeah.
are some friends that, that are just friends on my Facebook that I
Right,
really
right.
don't talk to that much.
Sure.
So a lot of the stuff that we do is getting out there.
He said
People are
do-do.
He
starting
said,
to,
"Dude, oh, man."
you know,
Yeah,
but
sure.
we're
He gets
starting to
out
get
there.
out there. It's kind of neat to sit there and see people that you know that you
Right.
don't really communicate that much
Yeah.
with jumping on to
Yep.
see that. So
Yeah, that's some of my favorite part too. Some of my friends, like you said, jump on, and especially, and then they're like, "I didn't know you even did this." I'm like, "How could you not?" I post nonstop,
Yeah, all the
about
time.
our events or the podcast and whatever else. It's like, man, you're missing out on a whole world, and they're like, that's so cool, and it's,
Yeah.
it's fun to branch out and network like that. But yeah,
well, maybe that has something to do with the Facebook thing they've been talking about for the last
Oh, yeah.
month or so, where
Right.
if you're not really on there or talking to that person all the time, they don't see your.
right,
Your
that
posts,
is that's
so.
part of it. But the fact that you just randomly happen
Yeah.
to pick up that page or
Yep.
heard about a ghost event and then looked up at that given time and realized that we're connected to it somehow. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow, I didn't know it was you guys.
Pretty cool.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, what did you think about the events and everything, or anybody? For that
I
matter?
I love the interaction that we
Mhm.
get with the guests, and especially not to say anything against like all 3 nights, because
Right.
each night and each group that had a different spot
had its own.
had their own experience, and I gotta say the first couple of nights probably for you and I, maybe not a whole
It was
lot
here- it was
compared
things here and
compared to the third night on
Right.
Saturday. It was just amazing to watch the group that we had that night. Them using the
Mhm.
tools themselves, the K2 to the REM pod to the
Dowsing
meter,
rods,
dowsing rods,
to
and all
everything,
that.
yep.
It was
Cameras.
fun to actually watch them and how much they were getting involved into it, and how they were quick to even try to figure out if that was real or fake,
Mhm.
and figuring that out, because when there was somebody that was holding a K2, but then their phone was too close to it, and that person's going, "Oh, the K2's going off. The
Right.
K2's going off." There's guests that were actually quick to go, "Well, your cell phone's right there."
Yeah.
They even had a time or 2 in Overland,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed.
So, it's nice
It's
to
easy
see
to
that.
forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's nice to have people that had experience with those to coach you on those a little bit.
Forget,
Then
or they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Because then when they actually do have something, they do have something.
Do-do.
Happening.
Oh, he said do-do.
They then they realize the experience is real. Because I mean, there's times after
Yeah.
we told them they took their phone and should I put it on airplane, turn it off? Yeah, whatever you can do to make this more real for you. I mean, definitely. And they would take our advice,
Right.
and then next thing you know, it's still going off with their phone off and everything like that, and their reactions are genuine. It's like, holy crap, what's Syria? And they'd ask certain questions, and it was fun.
But when I see people who are actually, not knowing that they're getting it with their phone, or even if they're trying to, just to cause something, I like pointing it out
Oh yeah,
immediately
definitely.
and saying, no, that's not right.
Right.
And, and that was seen that night. So,
Right.
there's it.
Well,
For
debunking
some,
is
it's gonna
just
be
as
addressed,
important,
It is.
it is.
It debunks a lot of it, and
Right.
and it's going to be something that's
It makes the legit stuff more legit.
right.
Yeah.
And see, and that's one thing I think it was Carl. It was somebody at Carl or either Oberlin was telling me that he's like, that's one thing I appreciate about you guys because not everything's paranormal.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys point that out. You're not just quick to say, man, this is paranormal run, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's that's this.
Well, it was
this
like-
is the logic explanation.
It was like I was explaining to you guys earlier. One thing I learned about the SLS and Oberlin was that it will try to map other things.
Sure,
You'll
of course.
never see that on TV when you see somebody
Right.
using one on one of the shows.
Yep.
But there's a lot of mannequins there, and yeah, if you sit there and point it right out one, and sit there for a second, it'll map it.
What happens when it moves though?
Uh,
Mannequin. I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
but,
No, I'm teasing.
and of course the people there are always like, oh God, look at that,
Yeah.
and that's why I have the two different colored screens going because I
Right.
see it's the mannequin.
And that's one thing we
there,
don't wanna
or it's
do.
It's that coat rack.
We
or-
would never do that. We would never
Yeah.
just promote fake evidence
Right.
just to get a rise
Right.
out of
Right.
anybody or to make ourselves that more.
Well, and I think that's
noticeable.
why people like coming to our events. We that's like Carl said, that's one of the reasons he likes us.
Yeah,
Is
I
because
think it was Carl was telling me
And-
that.
yeah, I think it was.
And the fact that we have evidence to actually back up, like if somebody in the group, like I'm talking like our team,
Mm-hmm.
hears something or sees something, most of the time we have the evidence to back it up
Right.
with, especially if say you're hearing a voice,
Mhm.
Well, perfect example, not to cut you off, is
Yeah, right.
I've been
Well, then
doing
there's
this I've been doing this almost 5 years.
I know.
And I know when we went to a certain place, when we were doing the video recorder,
Uh-huh.
the night vision camera,
Mhm.
what did I catch?
I don't know what you're talking
It was
about.
well, I didn't know if I should say anything. I don't know if we're allowed, but that person walked back through the
Oh
hallway.
yeah. Okay. Yep.
When you looked in
Yeah.
the camera that I had, it did not look like the
Right.
person that was with us.
Right.
And so, right there, if we didn't have the equipment that we have, if we didn't have the experience with the investigators that we have here
Right.
to go back and look at this stuff, and if we would have just shown up with a camera, we'd be telling everybody, oh my God, look what we got, look what we got.
Right.
Come to find out, we had Leo actually took the time to go back out there that next morning
Oh, right.
to check something out. And when he got home, he went back through the evidence with the cameras that we have.
Right.
Come to find out, it was somebody that was in our group,
Right. One of the guests.
one of the guests.
Yeah. Because even that night when you pointed it out to all of us, I'm pretty sure 99% of everybody was there. And it was like, holy crap, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Because all you could see was through a little viewfinder. You couldn't see
Right.
it
Yeah,
blowing
all
up
the
to the
time.
screen.
It's a little
Yeah.
different.
So
Right.
once you got a chance to analyze it, overlook it, and
There was
Yeah.
like even
You
like
could
your
tell.
face picture from the basement in
Oh,
Dodge.
yes.
I mean, that thing looked legit. But then we went back down to the basement with all the lights on. It was a poorly painted spot on the wall.
Yeah.
But
It's like waiting to get that phone call because you call Leo and you go, all right, buddy, what'd you find out? And it's always, sorry, man.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad
Which is
news. I'm like,
good.
you want me to tell you now or you
Because,
want to wait?
yeah,
'Cause-
and you're like,
Well,
oh.
it's just like in Wilson, me going up the stairs.
Yeah.
There's a person at the top of the stairs. I look like an ass who does not
Oh,
even look
yeah,
or say
that
anything
video.
to that person. I
you-
walk right past and the
Oh,
person's
yeah,
gone.
do you have that video?
oh, really?
Yeah.
Not with me now.
So-
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Never
yeah,
showed me
that
that.
would be a we should do a show
Side by
specifically
side, yeah.
about debunking shit one of these days and put
Right.
that as one of the centerpieces because
Yeah.
that's
'Cause
phenomenal.
we all were like, holy shit, where'd that person go? He just disappeared into thin air. And then, luckily, we had cameras set up multiple stairs, multiple angles, because then I looked at the other angle and you can see this person clearly turn the corner.
Yeah, they
seconds before Jason.
as
goes
I go
upstairs.
as I go like that, that person backs off and goes this way, but it looks like
It looked like-
just disappeared as
Yeah.
soon as I walk past them.
It was awesome
Because they were
And on
standing
video?
up there.
Yep.
You don't see the guy
Yeah, you
move
see
at all.
you see
It
legs.
doesn't look like
It's
disappears.
like, well,
Yeah.
it's like Jason walks through him.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was cool.
Back staircase or the front one?
That front one,
The main,
right up
front,
there.
main one. Yeah.
Yeah, going right up. You know, it's right on the landing and looking straight up
Okay.
at the second part.
Yeah.
And there's a person. There's legs up there, and they're just got their legs.
Because the
kinda
whole team would
resting
have
and-
sworn it was the thing. For a while when I first looked at it, I'm like, that I have no explanation until I looked at the
Yeah.
camera angle.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
And the
Once
jeans
again-
that they were wearing looked like they were old bell bottoms on film.
Remember.
It looked like they were wide,
Yeah, we'll have to bring that up one of these days.
and nobody wears those anymore.
I do.
So you're,
He's calling you nobody.
you know, and once
Kick his
again,
ass.
you're sitting on this video for like 3 weeks before, you know, Leo could, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys," and
Yeah.
we're like, "Oh,
Yeah, dude,
'Cause-
it devastated me because I was
Yeah.
all, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Because it was Paula who brought it to our attention.
Yeah.
So-
And she brought it, and then she was like excited about it, but then she was doubting it too. The more she just watched it and watched it and watched
too good to
it,
be true.
and then I got excited. You
Yeah.
got it. We were just
I think
like,
we all
Well,
were.
and what about the time we were at the office and we spent 2 days for like 8-hour days, 10-hour days going over
Right.
evidence, and you and Paula, or no, it was Michelle and I heard
Oh, the
something,
voice,
Yeah.
and we kept going no, and I think it was Paula kept
Paula
going no,
was-
guys, it's
that's
this.
me.
And we were getting actually irritated
Yeah.
with one of
Yeah.
the first times in 5 years
It
that
was
we've
her
actually.
yawning, remember?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
but it was how the
It's-
speed that we
Yes.
played it on. It sounded just, and even Michelle and I were like, "Yeah, you guys are nuts because this is what it's
because
saying."
Paula was like immediately saying, "No, that's
Yeah.
me yawning,"
We're like,
because
"No,
I think she remembered,
Mhm.
but it sounded like a clear EVP.
Yeah,
Right.
It
And-
did, yeah.
It did.
Rose and Michelle are like furious
Oh, we were
that
ready
we
to
were
take-
calling
we
it
were ready to
fake.
call it.
We're like, no, that is Paula, and they're like, no, that is an EVP that's saying something. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, just a yawn.
We were
sorry.
getting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It took about half an hour
Yeah.
to plead with these guys. Just listen to it
Especially when
closely.
you've been there for
you know?
2 days, going over nothing but
Yeah.
hours,
Right. Yeah.
and you're grumpy already.
hmm
Especially whoever the video was it you that had the video, just the one continuous shot that nothing happened.
The one shot that it showed me walking in from outside in Oberlin. And I was freezing my ass off, and the camera's just looking down. You know, occasionally you'd see somebody walk by, but you see me stiff walking it because I was so ice cold because I just spent like an hour and a half out there filming in the depot
Right.
area of Oberlin, and it was like 20 some degrees
It's
outside.
Right.
Yeah, it was so cold. I just remember I was like walking past the camera like slow, like a stiff tin man, just like. And I'm like shaking and like, oh my god, my hand hurts so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, nothing
That's hard to
for
do.
a
Yeah.
few hours, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Evidence review can be tough if you're not listening to something tangible like audio because it's
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
going. But if it's video, you're just staring at a blank screen
Yeah,
sometimes.
people think it's exciting, but
There's times that I've fallen asleep and like,
80%
woke up. I'm
of
like,
it
how much did I miss?
Yeah,
Shit,
oh,
rewind
yeah.
back to the last thing
Yeah.
I can physically remember and then
And this,
do it all over.
and this goes back to why people like Taps, us, some of the other big teams actually string cable and they put up video because, like I've learned from day one from you and Jason, you always and you Jeremiah say, because I'm like, God, we're gonna spend 2 hours dragging cable, and we never go back and review this is why we do it. It's so we can debunk something if we
Yeah.
need to, and every time
Yeah.
we've relied on the video, and
And that's
because think about it, if we wouldn't have had it, look how many times we'd be telling people that we found something and we
Right.
didn't,
yeah.
and that's why I think we're so awesome at what we do.
Yeah. I mean, out of the 12 plus years that I've been doing this, I have caught that I can think of on DVR camera.
Mhm.
3, maybe 4 pieces of legitimate evidence on camera. Everything else visual has been on handhelds. The DVR cameras just are not reliable for catching evidence, but they are reliable for what they're designed for, which is monitoring and security.
Yeah.
And that's what you know, that's what they're handy for.
They're pretty good
is-
at catching the occasional worm.
Yes, 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 yes.
Well, but like
Now I know.
in the basement that one time in Dodge, one of the guests, I believe you were standing there with me, Jason. We were watching the feed from the basement, and you could clearly see the dust going one direction because all the HVAC's down
Yeah.
there. But every now and then, out of all the dust going the one direction, one would come from the other way. And it'd come kind of out to the middle, and then it might go up, or it might go
Yeah.
down, or back the other way.
Right.
And then nothing would happen for a while, and you'd be watching all the dust going in one direction, and here coming over from the other. Well, that's not a piece of dust, you know.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
So, and actually, one of the guests pointed that out to me because he was over there on our break watching it. He's like, "Watch this for a minute. Look at this. You'll see a piece of dust come from the other way." And sure enough, yeah, you would every now and then.
Yeah.
Real quick, is anybody, and I hope you guys haven't already discussed this because I'm gonna feel really dumb, but everybody knows I always bring shit up that was like 2 days old. Did Carl tell you about him going back to the basement because we left some equipment there?
The depends you're talking about. I don't know.
Okay, so
Maybe.
he said the next day, you know, nobody's there,
Right.
and he's got all of his computers up at his desk, like security,
Right.
and all of a sudden he kept getting a flash,
That's not
bright light
Not in the basement.
in the basement.
No,
It was theater, wasn't
it's
it?
in the theater.
No, see if it's the right one.
Okay, sorry.
And he kept getting this light that was flashing. He couldn't
Yeah.
figure out what it was.
Yeah.
Michelle
It's theater.
left her
Motion
motion
sensor.
sensor.
motion sensor or
Yeah.
something there.
Oh,
was
the-
that
They
the
kept-
theater?
really
It's
bright?
theater.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was the basement that
No,
he said.
he told me theater, and it kept turning on, which it has to be
Oh yeah,
altered
you gotta
to
get
turn
pretty close
it
to
on,
it.
and it's
yeah.
not like you. We've used it in Overland,
Yeah.
or not Overland, Nest
No, we
City.
used
Those
it
little
over
circular
too.
Nest City, yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bright too.
Yeah.
When it comes on.
We've
We
had
used
it.
it at a few houses as
Yeah,
well.
we've used it. Well, the time we had really good success was Nest City at the bank when we had the flashlight right next to it, and then we had two of those side by side and like 3 or 4 flashlights in between them, and we were using it to interact with something, and it would turn on one thing or the other on command.
Huh.
So yeah, they're not easily manipulated unless you physically go up there and touch them.
But
So
it was just coming on in the theater.
kept turning
just hanging
on.
out.
Yep, and yeah, he said it was surprising. Like he said, yeah, nobody was there. It was only him in the building, and I was telling him just some of the stories that we had experienced in the theater. I mean, so it wasn't too surprising that something was there moving around.
You're never there by yourself.
No.
That's
No,
cool they
not
caught it
at
on
that
camera,
place.
though. That's
Yeah.
nice.
What?
It's cool that he caught it on the camera, though.
Yeah,
We
I
probably
guess.
never would have saw it ever.
Yeah.
Unless somebody
Yeah,
saw
he
it
was
turn
up on the
on.
computer and kept seeing it like,
Mm.
Yeah.
what is that? You know, and it'd quit and then it'd come back on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. So, yeah, and that's one thing I tell guests every time, speaking of cameras, because everybody's like, "What do you have to show us?" Can you see? Honestly, nothing video-wise. Because I tell them every time we do a talk or whatever, it's because you have to have the camera facing in the right direction at the right time, and it's just it's very rare. That's why they call it the Holy Grail of paranormal, because you don't have very much video, and if it is, it's probably explainable. Or luckily, we've been fortunate enough to have 2, 3, maybe half a dozen things happen on camera.
And when the shows have something on camera, it's just audio most of the time.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
never like an actual.
Right, you'll see Zach stand there and they're like, "Did you hear that?" And
Yeah.
they'll play the audio repetitively.
Right,
Keep
it's
the
just
music.
audio.
Yeah, it's
And
never.
it's usually doors slamming or.
It's never
But it's
sound
just but it's
physical.
just audio.
Maybe a
Right.
orb or shadow miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. That's why we tell everybody this is gonna be your best tool. And we point to our digital recorders because it picks up such a wide spectrum in a room or.
Does it
building.
suck? Does it suck that you can't see what is making that noise or talking or whatever? Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
But and it makes it harder
Yeah.
to decipher because then we have to figure out who was in the room, who was doing this, where was that
Yeah.
person.
Well,
you
and that's
know?
why it was good to have the camera just for we
Yeah.
talked about cross reference. If nobody's in that room for hours, 30 minutes an hour,
Yeah.
and you hear these voices, where are they coming from? Is it logical or is it really something in the room?
Right.
So when we used to do this, we used to put a recorder right by every camera back in the day
Yeah.
because that we could match it up clearly with what's in the room. But as time goes on, we've done different things. We're trying different things. But,
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, you're not progressing if you're not changing and
right.
trying to do new things. So
Exactly. Yep. So yep, no, all good points. Good questions and shit. I mean, yeah, but yeah, he did talk to us about that. The motion
That's
sensor
pretty cool.
was pretty cool. Yep. So, what else as far as from those weekends or anything?
just a reminder, a K2 can go off with a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just bringing that up again.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll also go off outside the room with the door that says high voltage on it.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it will.
I
Yes,
told
it will.
guests
It
to
goes
Dodge as
Yep.
well.
crazy outside that
I
door.
pointed that out. I was like, the millimeters, the K2s, anything. with
Down there in
10
the
above.
basement, right there, that one door. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if you stood there for
Mm.
for a long period of time?
Yeah.
How the effects that would be
Oh my
on
God.
you?
It would
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah. It makes
Wow.
Because the meter's just full
Yeah.
when you go by there.
Yeah.
Not just like a waiver, it's just full.
And when talking to
Oh, no.
people about it, down there in the basement when they're standing there in our group, I was trying to explain that to people that most people when they have kind of like that one house that we've gone to a house where the wiring wasn't that great and they had like a high voltage of EMF kicking off in the bathroom and bedroom, and they were always complaining of seeing like a haze or or lighting or
Right.
headaches, nausea
Right.
feelings,
We
stuff
get
like that.
bad feelings, paranoid type feelings, and in those areas.
And people
know.
don't realize that it's a natural cause to the body because
Oh, yeah.
it's screwing you
I
up
mean,
in the
we were-
head.
When me and Dan were at a small place, and we had one of his EM pumps, his big one,
Oh,
Yeah.
and we put it in a small room,
It's
and we started running, and we did a little talking in there, not really anything happened, so we went off to another part of the building and did some stuff, and then came back to that room, and man, we left that pump going. When you stepped in there, it was just dizzy,
Yeah.
and your head
Oh, yeah.
started to
Not-
hurt all of a
yeah.
sudden.
That did
Yeah.
did that to me at a residential that you put that thing in.
yeah.
Walking into a bedroom.
Yeah, it made me nauseous.
Your guts
Constantly
feel,
over
your guts
Yeah.
feel weird. And,
Yep. Yep.
So
but
that-
if it's in a
it
big
works,
room,
you know.
it's fine. But
There's
I
some
think
there's
that
some
works.
places that won't even let people go in and
It
investigate with
does.
them,
really,
even with their cell phones. They'll
Huh.
tell them to keep them out because they know that it affects some of the equipment that they use. So, yeah, so when you see people out there holding cell phones and K2 meters and different things like that, you got to be careful because they'll set them off. You got to have those things off.
Well, I'm looking at a new toy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I found a mini Tesla. So I'm thinking about getting it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Puts out twice the voltage of that little one I have, so we'll see what happens.
touch your tongue too, like a 9-volt.
Well,
see if it's working.
It's actually
Bro,
it's a
I know where
cool
guinea
Tesla.
pig is already.
Yeah. It's
Just
a
wait
cool
for
Tesla,
the
yes.
electrode to get to the
Yeah.
top.
Put your tongue to it and stick your finger by the light
Really
socket.
do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it once.
Oh man, but no, it was fun. It was just new stuff that happened there, so it was fun to see it all.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
No, like I said, we are feeling the effects of it, but it was worth it. Well worth it because
God,
in the
yeah.
end, I mean, we had such good results and.
Yeah, your aftershot picture is my favorite.
You passed that almost.
You
Yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah.
I couldn't move after that. Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
packing it all away, and then Cindy gave us the cake, and I ate.
Oh,
I
you
had,
got
I,
Cindy's
had,
cake?
like,
I had 2 pieces
yeah,
of
it's
cake,
like middle of the
and then I
night
crashed.
cake.
Sure
I was,
crashed, yeah.
I was done. I was
That's one thing everybody that comes to the events doesn't realize. They come and have a good time, and then they go home and man, tearing
yeah.
down is brutal.
Well, especially in Dodge, we had to tear down every night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
We had
night.
events going
Every
on
night.
with the theater.
Because
Which
you wore
wasn't as
out,
bad as it
but
could have been.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
It
It
worked
wasn't
out good.
bad. It wasn't bad. We got to keep it there, and we
Yeah.
already knew our plan, so we kept it the same way every
Yeah.
single night. We didn't change it up. But that final night, when we actually had to pack it up, put it in cases,
Mhm.
put it away, drag
Oh,
it out,
God.
load it up.
It wasn't so bad.
I got a question for you guys.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
What about you?
You don't get any
Yeah,
questions
question.
tonight.
I might as well answer too. So, I know a lot of people, and we've talked about this before. A lot of people, when they put out announcements or advertise for it, they always say, we'll go till 3:30. What are your thoughts on that stuff, guys? When we do,
I like just going
these
till the
back
last
to
minute.
backs.
That's what we did.
Well,
Go
Because
with
here's
that,
here's the
man.
reason I'm asking is because I know we've done a couple different ones for Kathy
mhm.
Ramirez, and we're done at 11 o'clock hanging out with people, asking all kinds of cool questions
Very
to
true.
us, getting the feedback from the clients that paid for the event, and we're out of there at midnight, and we're getting the same results that I've been doing this when we stay till 3:30, and then we spend another hour picking up.
But it seems
So-
like we
Yeah.
we still have a huge amount of people that when
Right.
they show up, they're still rocking and ready
Right.
to go at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They're like, "What's the next? Are we done yet? You're not done yet, are you? We still want to go."
Some of the best experiences I've had has been when the groups have been everywhere, and then the majority of the people left, and you end up with your group of stragglers, you know,
Yeah.
and then it's like, hey, let's go back in this one place for a minute, and then
Yeah.
that's usually when stuff goes
Right.
crazy.
It's
you know?
it's those diehard people that have really wanted to always do this, and you know, and there's some people that are like, I've always wanted to do this, and I'm having a blast, but my family wants to leave, so
Yeah.
you know, and they're like, I'd really like to stay longer, but you know, but
Man, when we were in Dodge, me and Renee had the group of elderly ladies. They were those ladies were there till like 2 in the morning, man. They were rocking it. They'd climb stairs and everything else. We went all over the place.
I remember that one night you saved me in Dodge, you and
What?
Paula, because I don't know who it was that was with me. It was literally 3 o'clock, and we're just getting into the theater,
Oh,
and it was one of those days, guys, where no matter what I do, these eyes are falling shut, and I'm like, I've got a group with me, and I'm like,
yeah.
and I'm like, pitch dark. Yeah.
That's when it came
So
back in and
go
put the
ahead and do
flashlight
this,
on.
and I'm over there going, is there anybody? And I'm just trying, and I looked at you or somebody, and I go get Jake. And here comes Jake like 5 minutes later, and he comes in and saves me because he brought his flashlight, and man,
We got it going.
they just but I was that one time, and I felt so bad because there was nothing left. I could not keep my eyes open, and Jake saved me. It
That
was
was
awesome.
infamous night.
yeah.
right?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But no, I just kind
Yeah,
of
it was-
wondered about that because you
Yeah.
know when we go do these events for 2 or 3 days back to back, that can put a lot of
It's a lot of strain on us.
it is,
It
and then
But it's
people get
worth it.
grouchy. And
Back to
they, you
back
know,
is fairly a new thing, though, isn't it? I
no,
mean,
not with these
no?
guys. No, it's always
No?
been that way since we've been.
I
We'll do
mean,
back to back stuff.
Yeah,
We used to do it
we've
at the
done it.
Forum
Yeah.
Yeah.
years ago, all the time.
Well, when it's
Years ago.
local, it's not so
It's
bad.
not so bad.
Go home, sleep in your own bed.
Still got to tear down though
Yeah.
most of the time because
And we would string up cameras every
Especially at the
single
Forum.
location.
We
Because
gotta
they're
get
huge.
some wireless cameras, man. I'm telling you
Well, I
what.
saw Road talking to some people online about that.
Yeah.
They said don't get them because they were.
Problem is they don't have enough range. The line of sight signal is too weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get the ones with the boosters, though, those good reviews. I was reading through them, so.
Yeah.
I'd never seen those. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
even know
actually-
that was a thing. So
Boosters with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have. There's a guy that actually purchased some, and he said that you can go. They have
They
plug-ins
do.
for them, so your batteries don't drain.
Right.
But he said so far that was one of his issues is that would it pick up, and he said he's getting like 1,000 feet or something like that.
I mean, that's the one
Damn.
that goes
Each
in,
one,
indoors
and that's
somewhere.
almost like when we go to Oberlin, or not Oberlin, but Nest City, when we're running all those stairs and stuff. You know, I don't know, but it was only like $200 and some odd dollars for the for 4 and the DVR. So I was kind of wondering maybe if it'd be worth trying to pick one up and just take it out there and see what happens.
Because if it works, and you don't got string cable, that'd save so much time on setup
yeah.
and tear down.
Yeah.
Just go gather up the cameras and put them away.
Yep. Definitely. I don't know.
Future dreams,
Right.
catching
Future
up with the
dreams.
times.
Yeah. Now eventually I'm gonna get extra DVRs. We can put them. If we have still wired cameras, we're gonna have multiple. We've been in locations that have been nice to have certain parts of buildings we couldn't reach because they're just so damn far out there.
It'd be
Like,
nice to have it
Wallace,
for when
Cowtown.
we're outdoors, and
Yeah.
have to be out in the outdoors.
Yep.
Yeah, like for Boot Hill, trying to get it up toward that one
Or
far
even-
in and looking up.
Even Cowtown when we had
Yeah.
everything centrally located, and then you have that building way on the outskirts.
Way
There's
out
no
there.
way you
Yeah,
can do
there's.
With all the spiders.
Woo! That was your favorite building.
That's
huh?
Rose's
Man.
favorite place.
No, not that place.
Mm.
No,
fun
no,
house.
no, no. A different place. The red building clear up towards the entrance.
Oh,
way
Oh,
out
yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
No,
That-
no, I forgot about the
that's
spider place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
Spider
two
place we
spots.
probably could have reached if I'd have daisy or ran a couple of cables together, but I decided not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about that red shed, whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
It kind of like their annex, kind of
Yeah.
where they keep all the storage and everything to it.
Yep.
The stuff
Yeah.
from behind the scenes that no one goes to.
Yeah.
So.
But all right, enough talking about tech talk. Let's see what else we got going on here.
Tech.
What is a beard? That's what I'm saying. Boring.
So, well,
Yeah.
it's Sunday,
Yep.
you know,
Sunday.
Yep.
and football's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Today.
Not really.
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, so what do you guys think about adding something new to our repertoire? To
Adding what?
something new.
Depends on what you're talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
depends on who it is.
Togas or
No.
speedos.
No.
or-
No
No.
mosquitoes.
Talking about actual work,
Yeah.
Like what?
not what Roth wears.
I didn't say that.
You started it. You brought up the whole.
We buy
You're
a
the one that
hearse,
said
put
you
in some
wear
seating.
David Lee Roth 80s era spandex. Really.
What were you saying?
No, what would you guys think about like adding like UFO stuff?
We kind of already do that, don't we? Though, a little bit?
No, not really. I mean, we have never
Like
actually
trying
done
to go
it.
out for sightings or something? or-
You know, reaching out to people, for those who actually may have seen something, encountered something. You know, the ideas of kind of adding that to, like,
Mhm.
going out to,
Right.
kind of like what Bigfoot in Kansas
Yeah.
does. And we actually go out, you know, is there a Sasquatch right then and there on the property? Probably not. But we're
Right.
going there to hear the story,
Right.
listen to it, document it, and stuff like that, and then keep track of if there's a pattern of any kind.
Right.
Yeah, I think we
like
kind
that.
of always kept that in the back of our mind. We just never
Do
actually
it.
done it
Do
because
it.
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
that reached out to us. I mean,
Do it.
so that's the reason why we have it. I feel.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's why when our tagline, I mean,
Yeah,
it's getting
for
the
everything.
unknown, because if we anything on the table, I mean.
Well, we've never really
because-
promoted it
Yeah.
or actually said it.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually had, but way back when, before I left the team the first time, I actually had plans to do that drawn up. I'd worked you're familiar with Ruben Uriarty?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd actually
He's got
picked
it.
his
Aliens.
brain on how to,
Always aliens.
not the guy from Sherlock Holmes.
We're talking about
We're
sandwiches.
talking about the
over
Reuben sandwich. We thought.
Oh,
we made the
okay,
Reuben
okay, yeah, not that either.
sandwich.
But I'd actually
That's the
picked his
one.
brain and on how to the best way to go about starting
the guy
like a
with the hair, right?
yeah.
The guy with the hair. I have hair.
Alien,
guy.
On,
Ancient Aliens, the guy who
Ancient
always says,
Aliens,
I'm
yeah.
not,
He's a
yeah,
crazy
that
dude.
guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He at the time he was the ambassador for the coordination between the American and Mexican versions of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network.
Right, right.
You guys are like way over.
If you go to our website, the link's there.
I don't want to go.
Move on. It's UFO search,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
Yeah.
linked, it's linked as one of
The-
our contacts partners we use.
Big
I have a hard
organization
time
that does
reading
what
fine print.
Jason's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason why I want to bring it up is because somebody, I'll just say Nathan brought it up to us
Mhm.
about the idea of doing that. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm throwing him out there. Yeah, and, you know, it's an idea and a thought because there's a chance that we have a pretty good contact who could be a valuable asset to the
Mhm.
research of that.
Cool.
Right.
Very, very bad.
And not only was a witness to an actual craft, but has the knowledge to back it up and,
Right.
and the background. So it'd be something interesting to actually move into that's not always about ghosts and not always
Right.
about the paranormal. You know, try to do something because I mean I'm fascinated by it, and it, to be honest, aliens scares the shit out of me. I mean, it just turns seeing it. I don't know why, but the
Why'd you
big
put
the
a
big the
band
big gray
on?
you know, the big. That's what-
That's why
But-
Dan, that's why Dan doesn't have any more hair, guys. guys.
No, but I
Just
just
letting him out of the meat suit.
You just happen to test out the motion sensor for us every time we set it up.
I don't know where you have it.
So
That's why we don't tell you, so that we find
You're
out
the
if
only
it legit
person
works.
that
because I go
trips
off
it.
wandering around
The
and trying to
motion
make sure.
detector went off. Nah, it's just
It's
Jason.
Every time it's you.
Oh no, it goes
Yeah.
off on its own
Yeah.
too, plenty of times.
There's a good chance at least once it's Jason.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we've had opportunities. I mean, kind of briefly in some of our investigations, Tahlequah being one of them, that we've kind of actively looked for something
Right.
like that because that was some of the claims. So
Right.
yeah, no, we're open to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm game for whatever. I mean, we're talking about going to Hutch, whatever, out that way for Dan's friend.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah, and the-
cryptozoology deal.
From
yeah.
the call from last weekend.
It
Yeah.
could be related. I mean, we don't know that.
Very well.
So
Could very well be.
It
Yeah.
may not be paranormal, maybe paranormal, maybe even logically.
Well,
who
it's all
knows?
paranormal, right? So.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
technically.
is. So.
Soon may be back here.
Yeah. So. No. Yeah. We're game.
Do
for
something
it.
different back there, please, other than a
I
tap.
would knock him over the chair. I'm gonna fucking laugh.
So you heard that too back there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's about the 5th time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We get used to it.
But
You don't. That look on
Yeah.
your face is so shocked.
We all go home.
Yeah.
yeah.
I go
No,
to
hey.
sleep.
I got to say that the good thing you don't wear your headphones most of the time. Your eyes would never leave saucer mode. Hear some of the shit that I hear come through these headphones.
While you're here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I can touch base. I mean, talk about homes. Myself and somebody, Renee H, had some similar occurrence happen in our homes yesterday. Well, she lives in Dodge City. I live here, obviously here.
Really?
Not here, but in which
He lives here. You didn't
I
know.
live in Rose
He
basement.
lives
No
here.
clue.
He doesn't know I stay here. I sneak in the back.
He's in the attic.
He just leaves.
Yeah. But you wouldn't even notice if I was here half the time anyways, because shit.
There's
people
weeks I don't come down here.
anybody's in and out of your house. But no, we both saw at almost the same time something. I was watching a movie in my bedroom last night, and all my family was out except for me and my wife. We were watching a movie in the dark. You can see I saw a face coming, like somebody coming to my front door or our bedroom. I watched this thing walk in, and
Wow.
I did a double take, and then it went huge. It was big black, and and then it started hiding behind my door and peeking its head out nonstop, whatever. I'm sitting there looking at it like, I see you, whatever. I don't really care. I'm watching a movie. My TV's facing right here, and it's right here.
Maybe they wouldn't keep coming back if you just go, I see you,
Well,
I don't care.
I mean,
I don't
whatever,
care.
Well, Renee messaged me out of the blue yesterday, like maybe 20 minutes later. She's like, freaked out. She's like, I just saw a face in my window or my bedroom door. I was like, well, where's your daughters at? She's like, they're not here. They're at Grandpa and Grandma's house. It's just me and Ross. She saw I saw a face come through, and then we saw this flash of light kind of trail off. And she was, I'm not really scared, but it just freaked us, startled her or whatever. Problem is, she lives right next to a cemetery, so I'm like, maybe just passing through. And then I sat there for a few minutes. I'm like, well, I told her what I had happened, so I don't know if it
Same
was
kind of thing, right?
different. I saw a darker shadow. I mean, I saw what caught my eye first. I saw a gray mist kind of a thing, and it looked like a face standing there. Every now and then, I'll see. When you wear glasses, obviously, when light hits it, you can see glare. That's what I see every now and then, like because our TV's right there and it's shining light onto whatever's standing in the doorway. So I'll see the glass reflection. So I'll look up and it'll catch my eye, and I'll look over.
Wow.
And yeah, whatever it was happening to Renee somewhat simultaneously. And she was like, "What is that? What do you think that means?" And I'm like, "Don't know."
Wow, that's
It could be coincidental. I mean, it could be the same thing projecting. I don't know.
yeah.
She's like, "Do you think it wants something?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You can ask if you want to." I said, "Did you get up and look?" And she goes, "No, but I'm gonna get to. I'm ready to go chase it down and see if I can figure out what's happening." And she told her boyfriend, and he's like, "Shut up!" Basically, I don't want to hear what you're saying. It freaks him out. He doesn't do what we do. He's just like, "Quit saying that." You're just saying that because But she was doing the same thing. She was just watching a movie on her TV, and same thing.
Interesting.
But
Wow.
talk about the house. That's why I made me think about it, because we both had interactions.
Within how much? What was the time frame?
Probably like 20 minutes each,
Wow.
if not the same time. But when we first started talking about it,
So one thing I've never mentioned to you or brought up. So you and your sister kind of have similar gifts. does your mom or dad? I mean, you've never really talked about your family. I don't mean to bring them in, but it's like,
Well-
I've noticed that some people that have this stuff will talk about their kids when they're 7 or 8
Right.
that start bringing it to their attention, and they always go, I think Bridget's getting it, and it's like, was your family like that?
See, my dad doesn't really mess with this stuff too much. I mean, he's been more curious about now that we're into it, so he'll talk to me about some things. Never before he would ever mention anything. My mom, she would hear stuff in our house that we would hear as kids, which surprised me. Our old house, and it was a house that we built. So once again, there's people like, I don't know my house is paranormal because it's brand new,
Mm-hmm.
She would hear we had a split level, and it was three floors. And she'd hear the door opening and closing too when nobody would be at home, and that's what I would always hear too. Like somebody coming in and walking in the front door, and she'd think my dad was home, so she'd yell his name, and she'd wait for the response. There'd be nobody there, so she would get up from her room and come down the hallway, go down the stairs, and nobody's there. Renee and I never really talked about it, but the basement, and somebody was asking about it. I can't remember if it was Carl and Dodge or somebody was asking about the basement. Or we were talking about just what got us into this, because our basement was always weird. I mean, it was pitch black down there, and of course it's a basement, but it was a newer basement. But you would never make eye, because you come in the front door, like, your landing, you come in, and immediately to the left, you look down the stairs right there, and you can see
Right.
it. So you never make eye contact with whatever's down there for the fear that something would be standing there looking at you. And as a game, my older sister and I always play. We'd like, okay, last person, you turn the lights off, and we'd run up the stairs and it's me, whatever. I got the lights off. So whatever it was, I turned the lights off, but I would never look down behind me. I just run, because I'm like, I'm not gonna be that person to see what's down there. It always had a weird feeling.
Yeah, you can feel it down there. with it.
It's real
Yeah.
thick in the areas, but
Yeah.
as far as having the same ability, if so, my mom's never said anything. My dad's never said anything. She just had experience. Jesus.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's had some weird experiences. My mom has. My dad, being the man, just would be like, you're just tired or whatever, or
Right.
She had some experiences right after she had surgery for her, I think it was her gallbladder removal, and she had some. In Mexican folklore, there's a thing called La Llorona, which is people that Mexicans. If you go deep into Mexican history, there's witches and there's voodoo and black magic and all this shit. There's weird shit going on. You'd always hear like a high pitch. It's kind of like the banshee. You'd hear a high pitched yell, whatever, or whatever, and they always associated with the white owl. So if you saw a white owl too, that means she was coming. And my mom was laying in my sister's room, older sister's room, because of the bed, so nobody would bump the bed because she had surgery. And my dad slept in the room by himself, and we all kids stayed. We were younger. We all slept in the same room, or I'd bunk beds, we had extra beds. But my mom would wake up one night and she could see this woman in white, long hair, kind of no face thing coming out of her, crawling on the bed towards her. And she's like screaming for my dad. She's yelling his name out, and she told me that's what it was, that thing, whatever I was talking about, La Llorona. What do you call it? My dad said, no, you're just on medicine. You're just having weird reaction to stuff, but he would never say it was or wasn't. But I don't know if you remember if anybody's ever saw I can't remember if it was Expedition Unknown or if it was probably Ghost Adventures when they went down to the Island of the Dolls.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
Ghost
They
Adventures.
they both went down there, but I don't remember which episode it was. I think it was Ghost Adventures. They make it darker and scarier.
Yeah.
They mentioned that
Yeah,
thing.
they
the
do.
woman in
I
white.
thought I had heard of it.
Yeah, that's
before.
what that is.
Yeah,
It's an old Mexican.
yeah
lore.
the dude on the boat that was taking them there told
Mhm.
me about that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something that in the old folklore that what's it called?
It's like LLOROA or something like that. It's like La Llorona.
La Llorona?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't she have to be summoned by a bruja or something
Yeah,
like that?
that's part of it too. Which a bruja's a witch in Mexican. Yeah. So. Yeah. So there's some stuff. I don't know. My mom, like I said, never really talks about that stuff, but she'll talk to me. She's like I said, she's into it, and she'll watch our shows every now and then. I see her pop online because she's into some of the stuff we do. But we're not your traditional Mexican family. We're not like from Mexico. We're born in U.S. You keep hearing that too? That
Who
noise?
just did that?
That sliding around.
Yeah.
Is it the dogs upstairs messing with the map, maybe?
No.
Or somebody?
They're-
I've heard it.
they're
No,
gone.
it's over.
That was just right
It's over
behind
here.
me.
I've been
Yeah,
hearing
it's
it. I
right
thought
Somebody
I
took
looked up
their
at
feet.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, dude.
to see
And
if
went
he
like
moved
I thought
his-
that was you.
your drink.
It was right here.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jeremiah moving his ice and his drink. I
No,
watched
no,
it.
It
was-
sounded like
no, it
somebody's
was-
sneaker
Yeah.
it was
on the
right here.
linoleum squeaking.
Right.
You didn't hear that?
I was
Really?
I was listening. I was watching Jeremiah most of the
Did
season.
you hear it, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Dude,
good.
my hair.
Yeah, dude. It was right here.
So,
Sit tight, Ruth.
so that's why, going back to the original thought, I've always been connected to things, I think, just because of the personal experience growing up and,
Right.
and some of the stuff been around. I mean, I know there's some of our family practice some voodoo shit, black voodoo, or the Mexican version of it back in the days. Because the Mexican people are really, you talk to them, the real Mexican people from Mexico, and you talk about any of that shit, they don't want to talk about it, number one, and they're a firm believer because there's families that put hexes on things, and people's families in there, and like, oh my god, you know,
Yeah.
they just
Everybody knows the Bruja and
Yeah, it's heavy shit down there.
yeah, yeah. Well, hell, that was even back in my hometown.
Mhm.
You know,
Especially Texas, yeah.
that was. There were I never was able to find out who they were, but you know, growing up, the vast majority of my friends were Mexican,
Oh, yeah.
and just because the population
The
difference
region,
there,
yeah.
but I never was able to find out who it was, but they everyone talked about that there were 3 Mexican witches or brujas or brujos in that town. And so I don't know,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. I thought it was you.
but you know, it just in that little town.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, it's heavy, like I said, especially in the culture.
but no one would ever tell you didn't find out the names.
No.
This-
You distance yourself from them as much as you could, yeah, because you want to stay on their good side, number one.
Mhm.
Because some of their stuff they do actually works. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been known to work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like the voodoos from
Yeah.
the Queens down from Oklahoma or from Louisiana, the
Mhm.
Cajun.
Or it's the same way if you talk to Native Americans.
Yeah,
you know,
same thing. Witch doctors and all
They've
that shit.
been putting curses on each other for a long time.
Well,
Yeah.
Us and them and
Yeah.
everything else. And just,
When we've experienced it firsthand
Right.
down Talcott,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a lot of the same
Yep.
same thing. That's why when we go to a place like that, I tread lightly because of the fact that I
yeah.
know it's sticky. Like we always talk about, sticky
Yep.
is the word that Jeremiah and I always use. It's
Yep.
because it can do
Yeah.
bad things to you
It
guys.
sticks to you like used oil,
yeah.
Mhm.
and it's hard to wash off. You can scrub yourself down
all the cleansing
with
in the world. won't
yeah,
do
and it just still feels sticky,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
It's going to run its course.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the first hour. You want to take a break real quick and
Yep.
come back and check Roast shorts, make sure he didn't shit himself. 'cause-
I'm with you,
Dude,
man.
I'm
I'm
with
with
you.
you.
I've heard it all.
It was
man.
right behind us. It was like
It was right there.
Yeah,
It was sliding. I heard it.
because I kept looking
Yeah.
like somebody
You
may have
asked
had
him, dude.
styrofoam,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a
You
to-go
did
box.
ask
Yeah.
me,
and they were-
so I'm gonna be real with you guys. You want to know the truth? I'll tell you the truth.
Let's go.
Oh, sorry.
Where we going?
Break.
Great.
Right, and then you're going to come back and you're going to say the truth.
And I've been telling him the truth. That's why when I said the shit's going real in here, he was like, all the shit flowing, happening.
Oh, yeah.
Just making him real scared.
He's got a pool out there too.
He's going
Yeah.
to be sleeping in it now, is what he's going to do.
The flamingo.
Yeah.
Sleeping in the flamingo.
Seems like all out of it. All right, let's.
All right. Break time.
All right. While you're at break, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever you can,
Come back
and
join us for the second half.
we will be back in just a little bit. All right, and we are back. Sorry about the longish break there. We just got caught up telling some stories and whatnot, so lost track of time. So,
Like
Now
and share,
what?
like and share our page before you forget.
yes,
Yeah, like you
yes,
said.
what he said.
Yeah.
Don't forget your mistresses, your lovers,
Yeah,
whatever.
you said
whatever.
I said, tell your family.
Tell your family and friends and
Tell your
everything.
grandpa. Tell your grandma.
Your neighbor.
Tell your mistresses.
Those who have internet access.
Tell that dude down at the gas station.
Tell your
It's
mistresses.
cool.
Your misters. Tell everybody. Tell a stranger.
Oh man.
All right, so Dan,
Yes,
you're
sir.
going on vacation.
I will not be here next week, guys. Sorry. I am going on vacation. We're heading down to Eureka Springs.
Eureka!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Eureka.
Bye.
Going to go down there and check out the Crescent.
Have you been there before?
I have never been there before.
Have you guys been? Any?
Anybody
No?
been there?
I've driven by it.
ELP went McLaren Bend.
Yeah, I've been in
Back
Clearwater.
before I joined, they were
Mhm.
down there like the same year.
Yeah, I remember when they went.
Mhm.
I don't think they had any
They just didn't
experience.
have anything. They took some cool
But-
pictures, but yeah, they didn't really get a chance to really investigate.
Yeah, they say they
wanted.
kind of take you down and tell you a story about it, really, is what I've been told.
What do you
Yeah,
know about
so-
the Crescent, Dan?
What do I know about the Crescent?
It's a boom. It's like
Yeah.
Oh.
1886 or 87 is when it was.
That's
And,
awesome.
yeah, it started out as a very, very high-end, high-class hotel for the wealthy. And, they had the natural healing waters down there. supposedly,
Yeah,
so
okay.
Yeah.
it was wealthy, and then it went belly up. They couldn't afford to keep it for them. So a doctor took it over, and the guy was kind of crazy. So he was actually a cancer doctor, and he was treating cancer patients with lobotomies and
Oh.
and
On the
different
grounds
types of-
there?
in the actual
In the hotel? Ah.
They were actually rooms at the time, and there was a morgue in the basement, and there's tunnels. People would go down the basement for procedures, and they left out through the tunnels.
Ah.
So, which went down the hill on the bottom side of the hill.
That just sounds shady,
Very shady.
Going in there for procedures and then
Leaving
escaping
in
through the tunnels.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, what kind of procedures are you doing there?
Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, we were gonna stay at the hotel. They couldn't guarantee me a room, so we're gonna stay at another hotel which we found, which was built in 1901. It's called the Palace Hotel, and actually, it's the room that we're gonna be in is actually haunted. So that's gonna be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it got it for half price. So we're gonna try that out.
What's it haunted by, the room?
A female.
You know?
Yeah, Rosalie or Rosetta or something like that. And he told me all about it on the phone, but I'll find out when I get there.
Okay.
That's awesome.
The Crescent's got some crazy rooms in it. I've watched several videos on YouTube to see which ones I wanted to stay in, and like 1500, 218, and 4. Yes, on the 4th floor. But one of them's the doctor's room, and one was a female mistress. You guys, yeah, and then she stays in that room. So,
Huh.
but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I want to do to get down there is the tunnels are corroding and collapsing. They're limestone tunnels, and so they're gonna make them off limits to people here in the next year or so, year or two. So I want to get down there before they do that. I want to see them. Yeah.
I think one of the best things about the Crescent was when ghost hunters were there years ago. They caught some weird shit down there. That's where they saw the full apparition. What they thought was a soldier.
I'm fixing to
Civil
to
War.
put that up right now. Actually, I was going to ask what everyone
Yeah.
thinks of that.
Yeah, it was on the, what do you call it, wasn't it? It was on the FLIR. No, it was a different part of the show. They caught it on the FLIR, but no, they caught that, or was it on the FLIR? Do you remember?
Yes, it was
It wasn't FLIR,
thermal
FLIR.
footage.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and there's still to this day they can't refute or dispute it. Whatever, people still wonder what everybody's take is on it. As we get up here in just a second.
Yeah.
But they also caught. They went to, I don't think it was the palace next door or someplace. Maybe it was the Springs itself, whatever in that area. They caught that weird on the FLIR again on the thermal. They caught that it looks psychedelic with the heat off of I think it was off Grant or Jason, excuse me, was going weird. Or it's kind of like that's what they're doing this weird shit behind him. Like it was like an aura basically behind him. That's not normal for a FLIR,
Yeah.
and it's pretty crazy. They also had where Grant was staying in the room and he
Yeah, there he is.
put his bags down. Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah.
He put his bags down, and next thing you know, he left the room, came back in, and the bags were by the door. He couldn't get really in the door because the thing had moved his actual bag.
And if you don't look at it, well, you can see it either
Ooh,
way. But
that's
even angle, you can see the
Is it
brim
the
of the
shoulder?
hat.
Yeah.
You can see
That's
it's
why they said
somebody
soldier.
wearing
Right.
some kind of a hat. And it's not your typical ball cap either.
If I remember,
It looks like they're wearing a
like a
shirt or a
short
coat
rim.
with a collar.
Yeah, it's definitely
Well,
color.
it is like a Civil War
And the-
era, like
Yeah.
the flat top hat
Hmm.
with the short
now,
brim.
if I remember right, he's shooting towards it's a
Locker.
Metal locker.
Yeah, metal locker. So can you get some
Yeah.
bounce back from it? Yes, but
Not like
The-
that.
the-
not necessarily like that. Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying.
the thing about it is, okay, the odd part about this really hot patch on the shoulder,
that, yeah.
Yeah.
that's actually the number on the locker.
That's right. You're right.
If you
that.
remember back to the
Yeah.
episode, I'll search and see if I can find
It's
like a
number
picture
2
of
or
the
something like
actual
that.
lockers.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So you'd have to wonder, okay, why is that showing up red hot like that? You know, 'cause it's not necessarily that it's red hot, but it's obviously hotter than the rest of it.
Yeah.
And when they did comparison footage,
Yeah.
without the apparition there was you couldn't see the number in the comparison footage.
Well, they couldn't duplicate that either.
Right.
They tried to do it with them in the room, nonstop. Try to debunk it, and they could never get it to reproduce itself. It's like something that had just passed through at that given moment, and then moved on.
Right.
And they just happened to be lucky to point the camera that way. So I've always thought it was cool. I just never. I mean, that's an old episode, guy.
That's one of their
That's when they were still.
first few seasons.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah, and the other hotel that they were in is the Basin.
Yeah, that's right. The basin. That's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that you say that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if you look at the Crescent website, they actually have a picture of the locker, the green locker, so it's kind of cool.
That's neat. I've never seen that before.
I am.
Oh, yeah. the
Yeah.
episode's pretty cool. It's pretty.
I think I've got it on DVD.
I think you said you did.
You know,
Yeah.
oddly enough, Ghost Hunters is the one show I've never watched.
I
Their
love
earlier
that show.
episodes
yes.
were before they got too big were fantastic because it was pretty raw and you could tell it
Oh,
was
yeah.
them in their element versus okay now that we made it that's
It's
what
the
I'm trying to
basic
get.
of what everybody does and wants to do, and start. It like fuels you to want to do it.
Yeah, that's what got me excited, especially with the episode.
They're honest. They're true about how they go about
So you can tell because
talking to
clean
everybody.
shaven.
Clean shaven.
Jason because he's never had after later years he had the goatee.
the goatee. Plus he's
Back when they
a
showed the
little more
Roto-Rooter
shaken now,
commercial
yeah.
at the very beginning and
Yeah,
you ready?
Plumbers
Let's
by
go.
Day and
Yeah, yeah,
Ghost
for a
Hunters by
long time.
Night.
Season 2, episode 13. That's what it was.
Season 2. I've got
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
So-
I just put up pictures of the it's side by side pictures, the thermal footage and the locker. Just a regular still photo of the locker, but you can see the number 2 and how it kind of coincides in shape and everything.
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Oh, the two.
It
Yeah.
just
That's the
Yeah,
same
so
shit.
I'm coming back. I'm just going to pause the episode. Yeah,
Here.
yeah, that's right. So that's bizarre.
That's true.
So that begs the difference. I mean, ask the question: Is it shooting through it that the two can even be seen?
Because I
Cody
mean,
says no phones while you're on camera, Dad.
yeah, put your phone away.
Or
We're
Skittles?
watching. We're looking at this.
We're looking. Yeah.
Well,
we're-
turn around, Skittles.
So,
Skittles
I've
have
got a
purpose,
question
too. He's
too. I've got a
even
question
he's
for
like,
you.
oh,
Let's go, Skittles.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
So, if you look at the locker, his shoulder would have been right where the 2's at,
Which is way up top.
which
Yes,
is
he's tall.
way
Yeah.
above
Yeah,
the.
it's almost like he's standing. It's not proportional, that's for sure. Because when they're standing in front of it looking,
Yeah.
and even Grant went and stood there because they thought, well, hey, was that you, Grant?
Right,
and he
right.
went over
Hey,
and
Grant.
yeah, was that Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
Hugh Grant. But
Full of puns tonight,
no.
folks.
But no, he couldn't even match the size or how tall it was to it. So.
No, so I mean, yeah, they were talking like they guy should be
Nor
about
could they
6'6".
reproduce that whole scene,
And
whatever.
no one was wearing a ball cap or what looks like.
That's
I mean,
a short brim flat top cap is what that
Yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah.
a flat top.
And also too,
I had one on.
if
That's
anybody,
exactly what it looked like.
it's you 'cause you're that tall. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I could go reenact that.
The thing is, though, if anybody knows anything about FLIR and thermal cameras, it should be getting off. That's a cold hit on the camera. It's
Oh, yeah.
green and blues. If it's hot, it's gonna be white, red, yellow,
Mhm.
orange color. It should be giving off some kind of reading on it. It's not doing anything.
Right.
So that's why it gave me a little bit more credibility when I watched the episode. I'm thinking, it's interesting,
Right.
and they couldn't.
It's just-
they couldn't reproduce it.
Yeah, it's just really weird why. Okay, so you've got the apparition there, and for the most part, you're right. It's a cold hit. It's a little bit warmer in the face area and head area, but then you've got that glaring hot number there, and there's no reason for that they could come up with. At least that they told us on TV.
Right.
You know, but that's just.
I want to watch that.
I always thought that was, you know, there's a lot of things on those shows, and Ghost Hunters included. I out of all the shows, that's probably the one that I'm most likely to watch if I have the chance.
Yeah.
But you can always come up with some way, you know, your mind, you go through thinking about it, and you can always come up with, well, it could have been this, it could have been that.
Right.
That I'm really kind of at a loss, you know, because
Yeah.
if you just try to warm up that number, well, it's a metal locker, so and metal conducts heat, so that warmth is going to spread.
Yeah, you're not just.
You know,
gonna blow
it's
up.
yeah, and I seem to remember, I think that episode they actually went and put their hand on the locker
Yeah.
and then backed away, and there was the handprint there that just kind of spread out
Yeah.
as it dissipated,
Right.
you know.
And when Grant stood in front of it, you could definitely tell the heat coming off of it.
Yeah.
It looked
Oh, yeah.
completely wrong.
It wasn't a cold hit. It was a warm hit. That heat
Yeah.
reflection.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing. I'm watching the episode right now. I know it doesn't make good for good podcast. That locker's not as tall as you think it is. It's actually shorter,
Yeah,
but the
actually-
number was glowing though, even with nobody
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So okay, here's the process now. The number's glowing with the thermal on camera, on the thermal camera. You can see it glowing. That same glow, but it doesn't explain why it has something to get behind it.
Right.
As an image, I mean, it would block that
Right.
signature
Right.
out in
Right. If it
theory.
was a solid figure, it
And
would.
this is
Yeah.
not doing it. This is what they do is they wave their hand in front of the camera, and you can see it physically turn white hot from where their natural body heat is.
Right.
That. So
I
that's
suppose, I mean,
interesting.
you can't tell what the temperature in there is, but if it's warm.
Well, if they had the right FLIR cams that had the crosshairs, give you
Okay,
a temperature,
well,
but
yeah.
they don't. Right there.
But I mean, I was sort of
See.
commenting on why maybe the number would be glowing and the rest of the cabinet's not.
Yeah.
The number could have been made out of thin tin. That if it's hot inside the building, that little piece of tin that the number's made out of might get warmer than the whole rest of the cabinet. So
Right.
on a FLIR, it might show up as a warm spot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a possibility. I don't know what the temp was in there when they were there.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's wearing a hoodie, but
Oh, you don't know? Yeah, that's right. You don't know Ghost Hunters. This guy is Jason Grant. I'm laughing at him. See, that's when it happens right there. What I'll do is I'll go home and cut this footage up, and we'll bring it back to the next episode, or maybe when Dan gets back. Maybe we
And
can
there's no
discuss
way
it
it
then.
could have been a reflection.
No, because the number is glowing hot.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Even block that
everything's
out.
dull. over
Yeah, if
there
you were
on
a
the
figure in
outside.
front of it, you would have blocked it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring the video next time, and we'll we'll show you what happens in the actual footage itself and play it, because yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I'll definitely want to hear Dan's take when he gets down there. And
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take my little
Experiences.
GoPro with me
Yeah,
down there
cool.
and take. a
I
few
figure you're gonna
snaps.
take more than that.
Oh, I'm taking a lot more.
It's gonna go down there rigged with everything.
You're gonna be like, what are you doing, dude? No. Yeah, read.
I'm
gonna miss me.
here with all this.
You gotta go see if they.
He's
if
gonna
that
wear a
locker
shirt,
still
too.
is
That's
there.
what
Dan will be like, you want me to take this over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Help you out a little bit.
Yeah,
You're gonna
he's
be
got
over there
something
with the
I can
little
use more.
detectors. And
Do you have any
that'll
more?
be-
No.
Yeah.
Not of everything. I might
So
have
are
a
you going to
cheap
get
one
to
around.
take the tour at the Crescent then? Even though you can't stay there?
I'm going to take the tour of the
Okay.
Crescent, then I'm taking the downtown tour, which actually takes you into the tunnels.
Okay.
And then I'm going to talk to the guy at the Palace because they do have an entrance to the tunnel there as well.
Nice.
So maybe he'll,
Cool.
grant me access. I don't know.
When
He
we-
says,
Well, so when you coming back?
I'm leaving. We'll be there Sunday, Monday, and then we're heading down to Galveston Tuesday. So I'll be back. I'll be back for the following show.
Okay.
We'll be coming.
What I'll do is I won't bring it back until you come back. So
Yeah,
we can,
that'll
we
work.
can help us talk
Yeah.
about the episode. But I'll get it all cut up and have it ready and get it to Jeremiah so
Yeah.
for the show.
Yeah, good.
So we can discuss this in more in detail and see
Very
what your
cool.
own take was, because there's some interesting stuff down there. And I'll
Yeah.
bring the extra stuff that they have on the show itself. I'll bring it all to our show.
Okay.
So, dog.
Yeah, and if anybody's been down there, give me some recommendations. Anything I should hit while I'm there.
Cool.
If like saying, I'm being Galveston as well. Staying at the Hotel Galvez. If anybody stayed there.
Which
Room 505.
we talked about an episode down there, or a previous episode about Galveston and the what do you call it?
hurricane.
the hurricane,
Hurricane.
and all the paranormal shit they have down there. I shouldn't say shit, but paranormal occurrences down there that
Yeah,
pretty
it's-
interesting.
So what's the deal with room 505 in that hotel?
505.
No, you're fine. We're good.
As a female, she jumped to her death out of that room. Her beau had gone out to sea and supposed to return, never returned, and so she jumped to death because she was mourning, and he returned 3 weeks later.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So yeah,
Wow.
Yep.
but that all yeah. So that's. And the hotel was actually in construction during the Great Hurricane of 1900 too.
Okay.
So it wasn't completed then either. But yeah, we went down there to Galveston 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, and we did a bunch of stuff down there, checking out some places down there. There's a place that's a haunted house right now. They converted to a haunted house, but it's an actual. It was the actual original morgue for 1900 hurricane. That's
right.
Oh, wow.
They had over 3,000 bodies in there at one time,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, they did a bunch of sea burials, and all the bodies floated back, so they had to dispose and burn them at that time.
Yeah, weight those things
Wow.
down.
And
Did
how
I
do you-
say that out
how
loud?
do you know this?
That's all I'm saying.
Semen shit is what?
Kind of cinder block. Thing.
But yeah, we need to
Wow.
take that.
Yeah.
That's the no-brainer.
Oh, yeah.
Thing. It just comes out if I think it.
Man,
Hilarious, man.
can you imagine all the bodies floating back to the shore and you just seeing that
Oh,
bodies just floating?
Right.
White wrapped. They had them all wrapped white linens.
Oh my gosh.
And being part of the group that had to take them out there and dump them, then you see all that and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that again.
Dilemma, like, do I try to get these out of here before somebody sees them, or do I just let it go?
yeah.
Mike wants to know, how do you know this, Jake?
Yeah.
Police Officer Mike.
Plead the
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
I've watched a lot of mob shows, okay?
I know how the physics of water works, and
But you know that in
science.
relation to body weight and body and
Yeah,
osmosis
all
and all that
that
stuff, or
type
what?
of things. Yeah, science, Mike. Science.
Shit, that's good. Yeah, I'm anxious to hear about your trip, man, and what you find out and what you bring back, because you're going to some fun places, some of the
Yep.
well-known places out there, haunted places.
I'm
Yeah.
jealous.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to hit a couple spots in between. We haven't decided. We were going to go down to New Orleans, but I mean that's just 2 days that
Yeah.
I can't spend in Galveston and Corpus Christi.
Exactly.
So, or Corpus Christi may be on a picture now. Then I'm thinking of the Alamo, but I don't know yet. We'll see. Because I mean, San Antonio's on the way home too. So
Have you been there?
no,
No,
You haven't
I've
been
been
to
there.
Alamo?
No,
Oh, that's
I've
pretty
been
neat to see.
yeah,
It's just weird because it's right in the middle of downtown, so you
Yeah.
got huge buildings in the Alamo.
Tiny little building.
Mhm.
Rivers,
What?
believe it or not, is right across the
Right
street.
across the
That's a
street,
neat
yeah.
one.
That is
That's a
neat
neat one
place.
there in San Antonio. The button in the men's bathroom by the urinals that when you push it doesn't do anything,
Yeah.
it makes really loud fart sounds in the women's bathroom. I pushed it a whole bunch of times and was like, I don't know what this button's doing.
I didn't know
Then
that.
my stepmom comes out of the bathroom. She's like, "Oh my God, this lady was in there." I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold the door open." And I went back in there and pushed it. It's like, man, I just pushed this thing like 50 times in a row.
I did not know that. I've been in there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
crazy.
So whatever you do, just don't pee on the side of it. Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They don't take lightly to that. Yep.
Yeah.
He's lucky he didn't get lynched up.
What? Yeah, he peed on the
He was
Alamo.
Yeah, he put on the Alamo.
He was drunk back in his heyday when he was really
Yeah.
into
And see,
drugs and everything.
The only
Yeah.
building structure is the old chapel.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he basically peed on the church
Yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good at all.
Bad deal.
That's just a.
He'd have been dead if he wasn't Ozzy.
Yeah, that's just it. It's awesome.
Yeah, Michael, the Alamo is kind of small, so that
That's,
I might stay in Galveston longer. I mean, you know, everybody knows about the seawall at Walmart, right? You know, that's another thing that I love.
Seawall
Yeah.
of Walmart?
The seawall, which is the seawall in Galveston.
Yeah.
The Walmart is on the land where the orphanage was in 1900 when it got
Oh,
washed
really?
away.
I didn't know that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good place
So-
for Walmart.
Well, there's okay. So the other thing that they did, the nuns tied 9 children to each nun during the hurricane, so they wouldn't get washed away and die. Well, in turn, it washed them all away. They all
They all
died.
died.
So most of the children of the orphanage died, and so now they have in the Walmart. You go down the toy aisle, or and balls will be going down the aisle, rolling
That's
and
awesome.
bouncing. Yeah, it's one of the most
Wow.
important places in Galveston.
That's cool.
Wow.
Walmart of
There
all
you go.
places. So,
That's sad.
It's sad.
It is
It is.
sad. Yeah,
But-
I'd
How,
love to hang
how
out there at
bad you
night.
guys are like, that's
I'd love
awesome.
to.
but got children tied to each
It
other.
was like, I don't know if you discussed on the previous show from Oberlin the graveyard experience. Did you talk about that at all?
Not
The coincidence?
really. We may have touched upon it. I don't remember with
I don't
the.
remember.
Remember with.
Because we still haven't really found out a lot of evidence to, and how much the story is out there. to
Yeah,
talk
but it
about,
doesn't
but,
really.
I mean,
it doesn't. It doesn't
It was-
explain as to what occurred
It
though.
was a
No,
neat,
that's
it was
true.
A, it was a neat coincidence, no matter how you look at it. I mean,
I can't explain it.
uh,
It was just weird.
the night before you're talking to the guy, and then
Yeah.
the next day you just happen to find his whole family's graves out there.
Yeah.
that is true.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I do.
no matter
remember
what, that
now
was
I
a
remember that.
neat coincidence. No
Yeah.
matter what,
It was
that
bizarre,
happened.
but.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. What we're talking about is we had an experience at Oberlin at the museum where Dan and Jake were interacting with this barber.
Roy,
Yeah,
On the first night.
yeah.
we were
First
there.
night of the public
I caught
investigation.
him on the SLS.
Yeah.
He touched your sister's hair.
Yeah, he was just interacting left and right, kind of aggressive a little bit, maybe.
A little bit,
The first night is very
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Talking some pretty
talking some weird
whacked out
stuff.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
But so next day we were going out to the graveyard that's not even close to the building; it's in a different part of the city,
So
and
the
we
memorial, okay.
went to go show these guys a memorial because never been out there for the last Indian raid. And while we were there, Jason kind of wandered off and did his own thing, just kind of doing whatever. And for some reason, I started wandering off too, away from Jason and the group, because the group was towards the front of the, you've been out there with us, Ruth. The memorial is right on
Yep.
the corner.
On the corner.
Jason went to the very. If you keep walking straight past that, down to there's a hill that goes down. He went down there, and I'm walking, just sitting there looking at a couple of things, and all of a sudden I could just feel something drawing me somewhere. So I went towards the
I actually
middle.
saw you break away from the group,
Yeah.
and you were like on a mission.
Yeah, he walked straight to it.
I was like zigzagging towards this area and just feeling like something keeps telling me, come over here, and I don't know what it was. So I'm like, well, I went to this one grave, I'm like, no, this is not it. So I walk, keep going back towards the back, and all of a sudden I'm like, no fucking way. I looked, I recognized the name. It was the name they had seen that night before the last name. So I went back there and I was like, this can't be it. So I went back there and looked, and sure as shit, there he is, boom. His
There he
wife
is.
next to him and his child on the other side of him.
Yeah, son.
Wow.
It's like it was drawing us out. So we did a session out there with
Yeah.
the ghost box. We did recordings and shit. And
Really, his wife would come through on the spirit box,
yeah,
and we kept asking because you read the birth and death dates and figure out how old everybody was, and his son was only 36,
yeah.
and so.
Was he the one that committed suicide?
Well, that's what the rumor
the
is.
son,
but
not
the son.
Yeah, yeah.
But nobody's been able to find out for sure. And so, during our session, we kept asking, what happened to your son? The wife would come through. You hear that?
No, but I'm getting hit with electricity right here,
The wife would come through and she'd say secret
nonstop.
every time. Every time you'd
That's
ask
right,
what happened to
secret.
your son.
That's what it was. Yeah.
She'd say secret in the same voice every time.
yeah.
So what's
Huh.
the secret?
Well,
Yeah.
was it the suicide that you know?
Back in those days, that wasn't something you talked about.
Sorry. just saw something.
That's me.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, it was you. I was just up. When I looked over, you weren't doing it again. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
his shadow was on the wall. But I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, so maybe that was the secret because you're not supposed to talk about things like that. It was
If
kind of
it
taboo
was.
or forbidden.
If it was suicide,
It could be too. Maybe that
it
is
could be a
secret.
I
different
mean, it could have
secret
been an
of,
accident. It could have been
or
a
on
number of
purpose,
things.
like
or
somebody
a
else could have taken care of,
suicide.
or someone else could have
Yeah.
taken
That's
care
like a
of.
cry.
Yeah, what was that?
that wasn't you.
No, that was like a
It
whine.
was two of mine. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. What the hell? This place is crazy.
Every time I think it's you.
No, he's making that.
I'm like, did you just hear
Oh,
that?
look
It
at
was
you.
like,
Yeah. Yep. That's funny.
Yeah, and I found Otis out there, the,
Oh,
the
that's
banker
right. That's right.
that
Did
has
you?
the Wooten desk.
Yep. I walked right past, not even thinking
So
about
Oh,
yeah, I just happened to be walking by,
it. Mm-hmm.
and I look over and I see the last name. And I'm like, why does that sound so familiar? And I noticed how huge the gravestone family name was.
Oh, yeah.
And what was it, Burton? Burton.
Bill.
A B man
Ben.
or some sort.
Benton. Otis Benton. And it had like a brick wall around the
Yeah.
framing of the. I looked down. There's Otis. There's his wife. There's family, and I'm like, that's awesome. And, I was like excited. I was like, what's the chances? I never even came out there
Right.
to look for him.
We never
So I
gone that
just-
far.
Yeah,
We
I
never
never really
went.
I
walked
mean,
around.
that's a neat old cemetery
It
just
is.
to look
It
at.
is.
I mean, there's lots of. I found lots of Confederate and Federal
Oh,
soldiers'
yeah.
graves out there, and they
They're
still
all
got the
marked.
markings on them. And,
Yep. Yeah, it's
You know,
wild.
Then it's really sad when you really start noticing and you're walking, and literally probably every third or fourth tombstone is a child.
Yeah.
But
1
it's,
day old to
you know,
1 year old
from
to
12-year-olds,
whatever.
you
Yeah,
know,
it's crazy.
But the 1800s, you know, the mortality rate
Yeah.
was. Hey, on the same line, you start watching, and a lot of the women lived to their 60s or 70s, and the guys lived till they're 50 something. You know, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go listen for him.
good call.
But
what are you doing?
I'm kidding, listening. Just stuff
Music.
in the studio. You can hear me. He's like,
I was hearing voices. I can't tell which direction they were coming from, but I was hearing voices a while
right
ago.
back over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're back over
Well,
here.
we could hear it with our own
Yeah.
ear just by.
Mhm.
That's why I looked at him, and I was getting hit with when you're
Yeah.
telling stuff. The static through
I need
here.
to ask.
No, I heard
I need
something
to ask
over here.
Cody if he's had any.
Hey Ruth, do me a favor.
Well,
I know
he's
you're
on
sitting
there.
down, but you're the closest one
Is
to
he?
reach it. Can you get out and that there's a case over there. There's a K2 and a millimeter. Please.
Turn your phone off.
Oh shoot, that's right. I don't have my phone. No, it's- yeah, I forget about that. No,
Is it
I-
yours or his?
It's mine.
What?
The phone?
It's
Oh.
mine.
Oh, it was over mine. No, I was thinking because
It's on silent now.
we were talking, something walked up between
Yeah.
Jake and I. But
Oh
nobody
no,
had his-
something come up here. I
Yeah.
can feel it too.
Yeah,
on
it
my
was
arm.
huge, and now it's not happening.
Huh.
It passed right behind me a while
Yeah.
ago. I had got
Well,
goosebumps on
And
my
see,
back.
and that's what I thought when I saw the black shadow. But then the
Hey,
road
Ralph.
was not that one. Sorry, but it'll work.
Did your wife go to her mom's house?
No, she's in the.
Okay, so
bedroom.
she didn't take the
She's
dogs.
asleep.
Okay,
Dogs are in the bedroom. on
right.
that
I just
end of
remember
the
her
house.
talking about taking the dogs away.
It's
Yeah,
not here
she
now.
ended up
Keep
not.
it here just in case.
Sit those suckers
That'd
away
be-
to drink or something.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So for everyone who's watching, we're hearing things and hearing voices and what sounds like a whining
It's like a girl.
It's like a whimper.
happening in the room behind us.
Oh, we're already getting something. What was
The more and more we do this here, the more and more there seems
Right.
to be activity in your home.
Well, we used
So-
to do it all the time in the studio we did on a different location
Mhm.
when we were talking about darker subjects. That's when the place would really come along.
Yeah.
Well, we did our 50th anniversary there, or
Mhm.
50th episode there. Shout out, Jason.
Well, and we did one here one night too when we had an interview with Callahan, the one
Oh,
with the
yeah.
books, and we couldn't keep
Yeah,
internet going. Everything was shutting down.
Was it?
He
We
was-
couldn't keep him on the line.
We lost him. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Every
lost him
time.
a couple of times, and it was every time the darker end of that particular story came up
Right. Yeah.
was when that shit would
So we
happen.
were talking about the shapeshifter in
Yep.
the cemetery, especially, and yeah, just what?
Uh,
You-
I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that.
so, but yeah, no, that's when we kept losing the feed and things, and just bizarre the fact that it's certain subject matter. It's like Well, tonight when I was talking about before the break, I mean, that's when the shit behind us was going crazy, and that sliding noise and all that other crap was going on, and just weird occurrences. I mean, some of the subject matter we talk about seems to stir up things in the rooms, so that's why I like doing it, especially talking about darker stuff. So, yeah, no, somebody say something, I don't know what else to say.
And Rotha's sitting
bring it
here
up.
like, you fuckers are doing this in my
Well,
house.
I don't think it stays here all the time, because you hear it all the time.
Right.
You have it, I think it comes and goes a lot.
Yeah.
You think it comes with one of us?
Yeah.
I don't think it comes with one of us. I think it comes to one of us,
It's a
possibly.
lot of both.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if
so-
it follows around. I hope not.
You stop pointing at me.
Yeah, it's one of these two. Right?
I won't say.
It's not me, right? It's not
You never know. It's your fault. You did
my
it.
fault.
You did it. So, no, anyways, but back to our regular scheduled program.
Let's talk about something dark.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, let's just do a test on it. Right now, we have things going on. We have meters down here. We'll kind of monitor them. I know you can't see it, people at home. I don't want to bring them up here because we have a lot of electrical equipment up here, and that'll just throw it
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
So right now, they're all at zeros.
Yep.
We're laughing at. But so, have you heard, Dan? Any more contact from, was it Travis?
I did
Anything
talk to
on-
Travis a little bit this week. He's got
Anything?
some information from his buddy, a little bit more.
Before
than
you do that, what? Just kind of set it up. Travis is the guy that called in. Was it last week or
Last week,
Was it last
mhm.
week, Brett? This might have been
At the very
weeks
end.
ago.
Yeah.
Talking about the thing he saw while taking a buddy of his. Well, not even a buddy, an acquaintance of his back home out by Inman, Kansas,
Inman,
which
yeah.
is northeast of Hutch, and.
Well, I've been in the Inman. I
have
didn't
too.
remember if it was
It's-
south
it's
or north
northeast.
of.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
northeast.
Yeah.
Just laughing at you, you're like doing the math over here. So anyway, he was on the back roads and he witnessed something, a phenomenon or something that he can't quite to this day explain. But what new information did you, or when you talked to him, what was he saying? Or
Well, he was trying to give me information from his buddy.
Mhm.
Give me his description of
Okay.
it, but he got cut off real quick, and he started wanting to know if I wanted to know about an alien story. And
always.
Of
yeah,
course.
started talking to me about an alien and an abduction, and then it led into the fact that he had to let me know that he is expecting a child. So yeah, it's going to be an
Oh.
alien. Yeah, so yeah, he went there, and then we got cut off. But
I got you.
yeah, it was a good thing for him. He'll have a baby, which is fun.
Mhm.
So and then he said he'd get back with me after that. We haven't been in contact.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's one thing when Jason was asking about UFO and stuff like that. Yeah, we definitely want to branch out a little further, and we're not just a paranormal team. We obviously do some of the Bigfooting, Sasquatch, and Sasquatch. Where's he? He's not here tonight. Bigfoot. I know, I'm kidding. We also, I mean, UFOs are definitely, I think, on our majority of our list, and
Yeah.
just anything, everything, conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
you name it, anything we can. We love history. I mean, we talk about history a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Just disproving anything, or even just experience, and not even proving, just
Right.
experiencing some of the phenomenons out there that are possible is always on the table. I mean, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
we ought to be watching the news here in the next week or so because the new show just came. A new movie came out Friday night, and I'm guarantee we're going to see Slender Man all over the news.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So-
Yep.
Cody
Yep.
actually went and saw that last
Yep.
night. Cody went and saw it last night. So
Which we had that conversation.
What's the Slender Man movie?
Yeah, it just came out.
Huh.
Yeah, we talked
Loosely,
about what?
loosely based on the
the
the girl that was attacked
Yeah,
by two girls who said that they were,
which
you know,
we all know, or hopefully people at home might know that Slender Man was part of the creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the guy put that story out there, and it turned into a big cult phenomenon and all this stuff, and people really believing this thing existed. But the thing is,
And it even goes further than that. I mean, I mean, it's like, well, I mean, if what the girls that did that crime actually, if that's even remotely true, they're worshiping this thing like a god.
Right,
Even.
right. It was enough.
Yeah.
Well, HBO did a documentary on them not too long ago. Yeah, it's been about a year and a half ago too, maybe, and it was actually pretty interesting to watch. It was sad because it was their friend they lured into this woods
Right.
to do this on behalf of Slender Man because he supposedly told them that if he didn't do it, I'm gonna kill your family. So
Right.
well, it was my family. I'll get a victim, and it was one of our friends,
Right.
figure out
Right.
slumber, sleeping party or a slumber party. And then basically the reason she even got to live to tell the story because she got up after they stabbed her like 34 times or something
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
After they left the area thinking they had killed her, she got up and walked out, and stumbled across a road, and a passerby saw her,
Right.
and so that's the reason why she's living to this day,
Mhm.
the victim. But yeah, Slender Man was just supposed to be a fake story, kind of like the Boogeyman, kind of like whoever, just
It was a
urban legend.
student who was trying to
Yeah,
do
he
a
invented
paper.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never thought that it would go that far.
Right.
but then all the videos came out, which in this day and age, anybody can fake a video.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the video
Well,
of
it's
that
a-
magnitude.
It's technically a unique story and
Mhm.
would make for a good horror movie.
Yeah, of
Mhm.
course. Yeah. Well, there's a
So
video
why
game.
not?
There's a video game out there called Slender Man. You can play online. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Same thing. You go dark room and you're trying to escape from him,
Mhm.
and one misstep or one misguided selection, you stumble upon it. It was scary. There's a bunch of videos online of kids playing this.
I've played it before.
Of course you did. You big kid. No, I'm just kidding, but
It'll get you.
yeah. It'll
What'd you
jump out
bring
at
into
Yeah.
the house?
Hmm?
He said, But no, but some of the stuff resembles a lot of the things we talked about, like the Men in Black. I mean, we talked about the white, pale skin, black suit, and that's kind of what Slender Man is. It's just a stretched out version of it.
Right.
He's tall and lanky, and weird mysteries surround this character. I mean, is he also alien? I mean, it goes with the whole Men in Black phenomenon. I mean, we talked about the black-eyed children, not the black-eyed peas, but talked about that, how they kind of all intertwine, intermingle. Some of the stories, possibly.
I've had somebody tell me that they've actually encountered black-eyed
Yeah,
children.
somebody in Wichita,
Mhm.
yeah. Which another guy too, which surprises me that I didn't know that about him until you told me
Yeah.
that story. I'm like, holy crap! I mean, it's the story he told. Wouldn't tell the story without giving too many details of him, personality. or
He
identity.
was getting ready for work. He this is before he was married and all that. He heard a knock on the door. He went and answered, and there was these two girls who he said he couldn't remember. He just remembers that they were odd acting.
Mhm.
They were just standing there insisting to come in. No matter what, they just wanted to come in.
Mhm.
Kept asking, "Can we use the phone?" He's like, no. He just had a bad feeling about it.
Right.
Couldn't get them to leave. They said, "Well, can we come in to use the bathroom?" They just kept coming up with different things. And when he finally, was getting ready to shut the door, I was like, no, please stay away,
Mhm.
go. They went out, and he just remembers one of them saying, "That's a really nice car." And one of them goes over and gets in. And they're just sitting there, and they won't get out of his car.
Wow.
And it was, an old hot rod, and he loved it. And he's out there trying to get them to get out of the car, and
Mhm.
won't get out of the car. And he's flipping out. He's running back in to call the police. And when he went to look back out there, they were just strolling down the hot road, just walking away,
Wow.
wearing the same clothes. But he said they just acted weird,
Huh.
and it was just the same reactions. It's like twins just
Mhm.
doing the same thing over and over.
Right.
Like.
Just insisting to come in. Please invite us to come in. They wouldn't charge in. They weren't forcing. It was like they had to be asked to. come
Right.
in.
And see, that's the thing with the black-eyed children. That's their motif is that if you let them in, you're inviting them in.
Right.
Then you have the next progression of what's
Right.
going to happen with the Men in Black possibly
Mhm.
tied into it, or whatever else, aliens or
Mhm.
whoever.
And he didn't know anything about it. It freaked him out. Thought about it for a long time. That nothing else ever happened, so he just let it go.
Right.
And it wasn't until after he was listening to another podcast. He loves, I don't know, some national podcast that talks about all about paranormal stuff.
Mhm.
But they were talking about. And then so he brought it up to me and said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this?" I'm like, "Hey, we just actually talked about it on
Mhm.
the podcast on ours." And so he told me the story, and floored me because it sounded spot on. But
Right.
But he was very sincere about the whole story.
Wow.
And I believe him.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
And it fits the same. If you go research it, and be careful when you do, but I mean, because you get down that rabbit hole and
Right.
you never know what you're going to dive into.
and he's
It
never
fits-
saw the.
No,
and
I
he's
know,
never
yeah.
seen him before. I mean, they weren't around the neighborhood before. Never seen him.
Right.
Huh.
No, what I was going to say is
He's lived in that neighborhood for a while.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that storyline fits all the same claims of many stories before his and afterwards. I mean, so I mean, for him to go, that's not his style of. I mean, that's not him at all. He's not actively. He's not into this like we are. He's
No.
not,
Well, you say you didn't even know about it.
yeah, with that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that
he's
makes
more
it
away
more
from it.
legit.
Doesn't want to know this kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
and the fact that this is something that occurred to him
Mm-hmm.
was interesting itself
Yeah.
and frightening at the same time. I mean, I don't know how I'd react if I had that shit happen to me. Well, me,
if
I'm a different breed.
if the
but-
next step is the Men in Black showing up, I'm probably just going to invite them in. Then.
Think Will Smith's gonna show up at your door or what?
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones,
Only time somebody-
K and J. No, but that's what. Well, that's one of the stories I think that they show up similar after. Well, if you mention anything aliens, then suppose that happens. You know, any kind of sighting and reporting is you're gonna get a visit from
Mm-hmm.
some government or not government officials
Yeah.
that shut you down.
Right.
Depending on the story itself, probably the credibility of the story too. If you give too many facts away, they'll probably like he knows too much. Let's go visit him.
Mhm.
So, who knows?
But then we got the creature that's up by Hutch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
that one I don't know. That was crazy.
I guess I missed out on that one too.
Oh, it was last week. Like I said,
It's a humanoid thing that's got some backwards collapsing legs
It-
and hop vertically.
Yeah, he said he was driving down the road and he saw this thing that was hunched over, almost like you were going to go down to do a push-up, but the arms were out, but you weren't. It wasn't touching the ground. Its legs were turned almost backwards, like
Like grasshopper.
like
Okay,
grasshopper. And then as he got closer, it leaped off into the
Wow.
woods, but it wasn't. It was human size.
Humanoid, whole
Yeah.
human size.
and it was kind of almost like we talked about I think even the week before with the Fresno
Night walker.
The night
walkers,
walkers.
whatever,
Yeah,
Nightcrawlers, whatever
yeah.
you call them. Yeah, it was similar as far as the movement, but not necessarily the full body. What are you doing? You
I was
okay?
just hearing something.
Oh. Cool. But yeah, it's just one of those things that he didn't know, and I even when he called in, I played devil's advocate. I'm like, well, could have been a coyote, whatever you want to call it,
Right,
or
right.
could have because it's some of the features,
Oh, yeah.
And he said, well, he's an avid hunter. He's like, I kind of know what those look like,
Yeah.
which I expected
Yeah.
to. I just want to know,
Hey, you gotta ask.
because he even said it was, it was late night. They've been out partying, but he wasn't drinking. He said he was just a D&D, whatever. And he took this guy out to an unfamiliar part of the country he's not used to,
Yeah.
and so he's on edge the whole time because he didn't know this guy that well.
Yeah, okay.
And the fact that he's seeing this thing kind of baffled him. Is after he dropped the guy off. The guy wasn't even with him, I don't
Okay.
think. And he was just. I said, "Well, we retired, kind of your eyes." Do a double take kind of a thing. Do you see a man walking along the side of the highway in a tux, or so it wasn't Jason, but it was somebody else.
Now, me and my wife actually experienced a similar thing a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in Clearwater, a friend of ours' house, and left. And it was the middle of the night, driving home, and we just seen this. It was a small thing, though. It wasn't like huge, but it was. Did you hear that whisper?
No, I heard the movement
Or yeah.
again. I was looking at you thinking you were touching your cup.
No.
No, nobody's there.
But yeah, it was like a small thing. It was like squatting down in the ditch, and it had almost a glow to it,
Oh,
and
really?
it had
Shit doesn't mean.
I don't know how to explain it other than when you saw it, it gave you like a dread feeling.
Really?
And we went by, and I saw it. I was riding in the passenger seat. Then I thought, oh man, I've had a few beers. I'm probably just it
Yeah.
was again. Whoa, that was long.
Yeah.
But
Can't those shorts, buddy.
I thought, well, that's nothing, and we kind of went a mile or so in silence, and I looked at her. I thought, well, yeah, okay. So I looked over at her, And Rosa looked over at her. She looked over at me, and I was like, "You saw that too, didn't you?" And she's like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but did it make you feel not right about?"
Oh, really?
And she's like, "I didn't like it." And like to this day, if you bring it up to her, she'll acknowledge that it happened, but she don't want to talk about it with you. It was.
Interesting.
It gave you this weird dread feeling when we seen it, and it was so strange looking.
You know, that makes me think, both of the Travis's and your account makes me think of another encounter that I heard about out in the Rose Hill area. Actually, a couple of people that used to be team members, in their account, so didn't Travis say that the thing that he saw was kind of a pale
Yeah.
gray color,
What I saw was
something?
the same color.
Yeah.
So these two people saw something. It was in the very, very early morning, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were driving down the road out in the Rose Hill area. Saw something. They said what they saw was flying, but I'm wondering if maybe that was an assumption. Maybe what they saw jumped, like the thing that Travis saw, and they just assumed it was flying. But it was like, I don't remember if they said that it went, kind of like by their car, like jumped up or came up out of the ditch as they were driving by and went by their car, or if it went over the road in front of them, something like that. I need to talk to them about that and get more details on that, because I don't know, it could be something.
Yeah, and I mean, I've
3
been
sightings then.
I've been hunting and stuff in this area my whole life, and there is no wildlife around here that doesn't have wings that can jump a road.
Right.
I mean, deer will get pretty close, but it can't clear the whole road.
Right.
And it can't clear a car going over the road, it can't, there's nothing living around here that can do that.
Actually, I've had a deer that hurdled our
Oh, yeah.
car. We were going about 45
That was
miles.
Missouri though, so they're
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
It was different. over
It
there.
ran across the highway.
Okay, so
hurdled our.
how about this? How about there's no animal out here that can jump like that without a running start.
Yeah, it ran from one end of the highway, ran over and hurdled our. Didn't even touch it.
Yeah, I've actually seen that happen before on a car that was in front of me, and I glanced at the radio and I looked up just in time to see this deer sailing over the car, and then on the other side the ditch was steeper than the deer anticipated, and he just kind of tumbled down the ditch and jumped up and over the fence he went, and he was gone.
Crazy.
Was this in December?
That would have been that was probably in the spring, like March, I'm guessing.
Reindeer must have been on vacation.
That's supposed to be December.
No, see the thing we saw, I don't know how it would have moved, because it was just kind of hunched down in the ditch, but it was looking at us.
Yeah.
Was the weird
That's
part.
wild.
Yeah, that's what Travis said on his too.
Which it did.
And
Yeah.
it looked at us, and it was this weird feeling.
See, and I've heard stories, a lot of stories like that, not necessarily so much around this area, just in general, where there's a creature or something, and I'm trying to think of what's related to, as far as feeling dread, like you said.
Yeah.
To me, I think that's more, I want to say it's more on the alien side of things, but I can't remember 100% if that's...
Yeah, I mean, there's some sort of
That's what it
telepathy
was.
involved in that sort of deal.
But I'm curious now to see what everybody's experienced.
Yeah.
If we can see if we can go out
Like I
there.
said, I thought I was crazy, but when I looked over at her, I knew immediately that she'd seen the same thing.
Crazy. So what do you think it was? I mean, do you think it's paranormal related? Do you think
It was
cryptid?
something. It was
Cryptid?
something not natural for sure. I mean, like I said, I know most of the animals around here.
Yeah.
I've seen them during the day and during the night, and it wasn't anything I'd ever seen before for sure. And then I can't explain the feeling, but we both felt it, and it's still. It was enough that she's still uncomfortable.
Very
But
eerie.
she'd like to, she'd like to be able to forget that.
Interesting.
But you can't, because it was so weird. It's one of those things you'll never forget.
Where were
about
you?
it. We were in between Clearwater and our house out by Douglas. We just take a back road. I take a little 2-lane county road. So we were actually kind of out by the town of Peck is where we were.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which
I know where Peck is. I've seen some weird shit out there.
That's a strange area
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lowlands.
Yeah, I've seen some I'm pretty sure was ghost activity out there at night. When I was a hospice nurse, I had a patient out there,
Oh, okay.
and had to go out and visit a couple of times in the evening and in nighttime hours, and it was. I saw some weird shit out there that I can't. I've never even been able to come close to explaining. So
Yeah, that's where it was at. It was out in that area.
yeah,
You know, there's railroad tracks that run out there.
yep,
They
yep.
actually go through Peck, but they kind of cut across country out there. And I think we had just went over those and went a little ways further down the road there.
Hmm.
That's when we seen it.
Wow.
You know, and it was just in the ditch, and we drove by, and like I said, we weren't seeing anything. We didn't say anything to each other.
Hmm.
I didn't say anything to her because I thought, you know, we'd been over at our buddy's house, and I had 4 or 5 or 7 beers, and
Hmm.
you know, and just whatever. But
Right.
after a couple miles, I kept thinking about it, like, oh, I gotta ask her. And when I looked over at her, it's just one of those deals you knew immediately before you asked
Right.
that she
Right.
saw the same thing too.
Yeah.
And it just,
Wow.
See.
next time she's around, I'll bring it up, and you'll see it makes her uncomfortable. She'll
Torture
acknowledge.
your wife.
Well, no, she'll-
Watch, guys, watch
she'll,
this.
She'll acknowledge that it
I know,
happened,
yeah.
but other than that, she won't want to
You
talk
get
much
that
about
blank
it.
look on her face.
There's a
Yes.
creature that was seen in Clearwater Cemetery too. It's documented.
Really.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
past. It was,
Really?
supposedly it had blue eyes when they saw it, but it was just a very dark creature that was hunkering over by a
That's my foot.
by a
Huh?
That's my foot, I think.
by a headstone.
Okay.
And when the children were out there, it like rose up
Huh.
and like went toward them.
No, I know where I'm going next time we go.
And
out there.
then,
know, right?
but they went back and told the family, and they contacted the police. Police didn't believe them. They went out. I think it happened one other time. They ended up finding prints or something like that, weird prints, but
Huh.
it had like a weird arm to it, where it, like, I don't know, it was like injured or something like that, but it was like lunging toward them, kind of forcing itself like right at them.
Wow.
Freaked them all out, but.
Yes.
That was documented. I mean, that's in a book even.
I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about that. So.
Yeah.
The
That's cool.
blue-eyed monster, they call
Yeah,
it.
the blue-eyed monster of Clearwater Cemetery.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have the book that has the story to it. But
Crazy.
Is it that Haunted Kansas book?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
in there.
was wanting to read that for a while.
I have that in. I can give
I might
it.
have to borrow
Huh?
it.
I got one.
You
I
got one?
too. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a lot of sightings of creatures within, all of
All within
From
that area.
Peck to Clearwater to Hutch to all
Mhm.
that,
Right.
That's
One thing if you think about it that they all have kind of in common is the Arkansas River runs right through them both.
exactly.
All three of them actually.
And
Yeah.
that's like a theory that Brendan's had for a long time about Sasquatch and the whole,
Right.
and the nomadic traveling and everything, and it's all out in the country,
Yeah.
can't be seen. But if people just happen to be driving by or walking by or hiking through, you just catch it on the rare occasion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, it goes all the way down through Oklahoma to Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah.
follow that. That's what a lot of the sightings around Wichita have occurred.
mhm.
Hmm.
Was that area?
Yeah,
So
the river,
up to
yeah.
as even close as 47th Street.
So I mean, it's
So-
possible.
I even believe that man-made things like the train tracks can hold this sort of energy. I mean, everywhere we've been, there's train tracks
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere near.
very true.
Physical
Even
travel. I mean, you got to think about how many years there's been travel along the railroad, BNSF, and Santa Fe.
right.
How many thousands and millions of people
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been on trains.
Or I mean, even back in the day when people were walking or riding a horse or had a wagon,
Follow the train.
and there
for
wasn't any
safety,
roads.
Yeah.
So what'd you follow? You followed the tracks.
Yeah.
And why
The tracks
can't
will take you to
animals
the
do
next
it?
place.
You know, especially if
And
it could lead them
and
to
they will.
certain areas.
They will. You'll be out tracking deer, and there'll be a cow trail through a field, and there'll be deer tracks all along it because
Yeah.
they're using it too.
Yep.
It's fascinating. That's the reason why I want to just take little personal
Mhm.
day trips and go search
Right.
these areas and stuff.
Yeah.
And we will. We have some
I'm
stuff in
game.
the works already.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I'm already planning on
Yep.
on
Yeah.
my weekends. My Saturdays coming up soon, where we haven't been booked by something,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
going out,
exactly.
starting off early in the morning. And I know Brendan's, he was ready to, like, we're about ready to plan something for the field once tick season's over.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's what Repel's for.
it still doesn't work.
It worked
Put
on
the
me.
deed on you. It works
Worked for
fine.
me and Calico. I was.
I still had 2 of them on
You still
me.
get ticks on you?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I had them
yeah.
all. I mean,
Oh yeah, put
I
the
was
repel
good.
on you.
I was
ticks.
good.
But we
Yeah.
go,
Throw it on the
I think
ground,
you and I
everything.
were the only ones that didn't.
Ray didn't get one either.
She didn't.
No.
But we go hit. He takes off hiking.
I didn't
I
get
never
any.
know where it's going.
I've never had
I
a
just
tick.
follow him.
I haven't either.
Ever.
So known. Yeah, me neither.
I've spent half my life out in the wild.
Oh, I've had them.
Well,
Yeah. I've never had a tick.
feel lucky because those little bastards are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Annoying. So.
I've had.
I
'em
probably
all my
just
life.
jinxed it. I better.
Right.
I've had them all my life, so don't wonder I haven't gotten Lyme disease or something. No, I know.
Rocky
it's
Mountain
just
spotted
true.
fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the
Right.
bad
Right.
one, man.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news again, but it's
I
that
know.
time.
It's 9:15. We went 15 minutes
Wow.
over.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
all right.
No, that's good. I mean,
That second segment went fast.
yeah,
Man.
Yeah.
we you get to talking and they say no.
Well, we
That's
did
up.
take an extra 10-minute break. So
Yeah, yes, we did. That was just making up for that.
That's what we were waiting for. Or working on.
Yeah, we might for this side.
So very cool. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining at home this week. This last, I'm tired. I can't talk anymore. This show, like I said, let us know what you want to hear. I mean, comment, go to our pages. Let us know if you want to hear anything subject matter wise,
Mhm.
or like I said, call in. Don't be shy. We'll definitely talk about everything and anything, obviously, and we'd love to hear your side of the stories, like we had last week and this week with your story. That's awesome. And as you can see, it makes the studio happy. Things happen all the time. 'cause
Yeah.
of it, so-
That's right.
but make sure you like, subscribe to this page. You get notifications from us when you sign up. That way you can see in time we go live. We're going to go travel the field here hopefully soon and try to dispel some of these rumors or
A lot of projects coming up.
Yep.
Yep.
So you never know we're going to go live. So
Not
definitely
just public events, but a lot of projects
Yeah.
that we're working
Yep,
on.
got some big things in the works. So stay tuned for those. So all right, anybody want to take us out? Take us home? What the hell?
Bye.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. So.
See ya.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Jeremiah. Say your piece.
Well, they already all said it for the most part. Yeah, just don't forget to like and subscribe and spread the word for us and share everywhere you can. Help us get the word out. And we got some exciting stuff coming up, and everyone here is really excited about it. We think you will be too. So yeah, in the meantime, don't be afraid to poke the bear. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
DC and 2.
That's freaking kids.
2 and 2.
See you
Some
soon.
people get that.